Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, it's the last day of the month, 30th of September. What a ride it has been. Good morning and welcome to your favorite AM show. It's the first show you get to wake up to right here on the Joy News channel. I'm Noella Karen Yali, and pretty shortly I'll be joined by Emefa Adeti and of course, Kojo Brace. They'll be bringing you a fantastic show. This morning we have a packed show for you as usual, and let me run you through what we'll be doing on the show today. Of course, we'll have our news segments, which I'll be bringing to you. And of course, we'll have Haruna Mubarak bring you sports update, and then we dive into the news review. I'll take you through the papers this morning. What's making the rounds? I'll let you know that pretty shortly. And then we'll get into the news review segment with MFA and her panelists, where we have Dixon Tredia, who's the MP for Brekum West. We have Kojo Poku, who's the Executive Director, Institute for Energy Policies and Research. And then we'll have the former president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Mr. Afel Money, joining us to really get into what's making the rounds in our news today. For our big stories, what we're treating is from seizing of excavators to burning and imprisonment, from calls to repeal LI 2462 to implementation of the state of emergency. Government is set to hold an engagement with the CSO come Friday on illegal mining albatross. And this morning we engaged the Minerals Commission on what more they can do beyond the licenses regime in a fight that seems no end in sight. So we really want you to join the conversation, because really the show is about you. And you can do that by sharing your thoughts via our phone numbers and, of course, all our social media handles. Of course, it's Joy News on TV, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere. Remember, the AM show is sponsored by Kinogo Company Limited and Syntex Sangs. Syntex Sangs, you're strong, you're tough. I'm Noella Karen Yali. Right about now, we bring you the AM news right here on the Joy News channel. Good morning once again, and you're welcome back to the AM show. But of course, it's now time for our news segment, and I'm Noella Karen Yali. And in our top stories, government and DSTV have reached a new deal to give Ghanaian subscribers between 33 to 50% more value on their packages after weeks of standoff. From October 1, customers will be automatically upgraded to higher bouquets at no extra cost, with more channels and live sports. Communications Minister Sam George says the move will ease household costs while keeping DSTV commercially viable. And the ministry is also looking at dealing with smuggling of DSTV decoders from Nigeria. Kenneth Jesse was at the press conference and now reports.
To prevent sudden hikes in DSTV rates, the Ministry of Communications says it has instituted a quarterly review mechanism where every 3 months the committee will reconvene to assess the impact of the current adjustments, taking into account Ghana's economic stability, subscription patterns and consumer satisfaction.
MultiChoice Africa has committed to implement an unprecedented increased value offer only in Ghana, and I repeat, only in Ghana, which will result in Ghanaian DSTV subscribers getting more services for less. Depending on the DSTV package or bouquet you use, subscribers will get between 33% to 50% more value. The new arrangement, effective from 1st October 2025, are as follows. For those who are on the Paddy bouquet subscription, you currently pay 59 Ghana cedis. When you pay 59 Ghana cedis, you get upgraded automatically to Access, which is valued at 99 Ghana cedis, and you get 35 more channels. The committee will reconvene in 3 months to evaluate the impact of this initiative.
As part of the new agreement with Canal Plus, Sam George said Ghanaians seeking to join the DSTV service will now pay half the cost of acquiring a DSTV decoder and dish kit.
In addition, MultiChoice Africa will provide a 555 Ghana cedi subsidy for the Zappa decoder and dish kit. New customers will therefore be able to get the Zappa and dish kit at 50% of its current price. So yet another 50% discount for subscribers.
The government is moving to crush the booming black market in DSTV decoders smuggled from Nigeria, a practice that has over the years tempted Ghanaian households with cheaper subscriptions but drained the state of millions in lost taxes.
The committee considered the issue of cross-border piracy of DSTV decoders from Nigeria into Ghana, which has for years deprived the state of tax revenue. It's transferred jobs from Ghana to Nigeria, denied unsuspecting customers of good customer service, and is actively working towards the decline of the Ghanaian local content creation space. To address this, the committee has recommended the establishment of a working group to comprehensively tackle this issue of cross-border piracy.
There's the firm belief the new offer will ease the financial burden on households while keeping DSTV's operations commercially viable in the Ghanaian market.
Well, we took to the streets and some of you have been sharing your views on the increased value offer.
New channel is okay for us, so the prices is too much for us.
I know they like ball, but sometimes I do watch some matches. So I wish to get DSTV for my room inside. But I see the way that they talk, they complain against the price and those stuff there, make my mind go far. So if they feel make the DSTV price come down, we already.
Even though if you want to increase the number of channels and they don't have the money to pay the fee for the subscription, it will still come back to the same problem. So I think the reduction will be more important than the increasing of the channels.
I think the price still needs to come down so that to make it easy access to everyone. A lot of people want to have access to it, but because of the price restrictions, they are not able to get access to that. So I think the price still needs to come down, regardless of the number of channels that are on it.
Some of the channels, the movies, they keep repeating the movies like till like we don't enjoy it. Like we don't enjoy it.
These days, a lot of people are busy. Like I don't think you can even watch all the channels on the DSTV. And I'm speaking for myself. I haven't even watched. I just have like 3 favorite channels that I watch. So I don't think adding more channels to the already existing channels would actually make a deal for us. They should just work on the prices.
Away from the DSTV, let's turn our attention to the Ghana Water Limited, because the company is cracking down on customers engaging in illegal water connections and other offences, with over 100 customers summoned as part of a 6-week revenue mobilization exercise in the Greater Accra region. Now, this move aims to address the significant challenges of commercial water losses, which hit 52% in December 2024, alongside technical losses. But some customers blame the company's delays in providing meters, and James Adiji reports.
One major challenge that has confronted the utility service providers, especially the Ghana Water Company, has been losses, both technical and commercial. And that is the reason why the GWCL and the World Bank have put together stakeholders here in Accra in order to deliberate over the challenge and find some lasting solutions. The acting managing director of the Ghana Water Limited, Achimota has revealed that as of December 2024, the company was doing about 52% losses in revenue.
Our non-revenue water was about 52% as at December 2024. So after a few months in office, I began to understand how the system operates. And from July, I started implementing my policies. December 2024, it was 52%. Yes. That's non-revenue water. Non-revenue water.
In order to tackle the challenge, the MD has put together a revenue assurance team to hit the ground to look at what exactly the challenge has been.
Some people, there's an installed meter, but they have an alternative line to their premises, said that they will use water in their premises, but that volume of water will not pass through the meter. Other customers, other people, not even customers, they have illegally connected water to their premises and using it. They are not on our records, so then we do not have any way of billing them at all. Others can even go to the extent of damaging the meter that has been installed there, so that the meter cannot record the volume of water they use. What we are losing is huge. We have already gotten 4.4 million billion out of that.
4.4
million Ghana cedis.
The MD said the changes in the last few weeks has resulted in some revenue gains as well as a decrease in the percentage of losses as recorded in August 2025.
In August, we've seen an improvement in revenue by 20%. And August non-revenue water dropped to, non-revenue water dropped to 50. We expect that September we should see a further drop.
Now, one of the key stakeholders in all of this conversation is the customer, and an association is represented here as part of the conversation. That is the Water Users Association.
Yeah, the illegal connection that people are doing, to me, I know that because of the meter that people pass illegal way to sell for them. For me, I propose that the Ghana government should give them meter in the moderate way, so that everybody can be getting the meter anytime they need it, so that illegal connection will stop.
From the Labadi Beach Hotel here in Accra, I am James Savaji for Joy News.
Now, Ghana is positioning itself at the forefront of digital transformation as government takes bold steps to embrace artificial intelligence. At the African Internet Summit 2025 right here in Accra, the Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations announced that Ghana is preparing to roll out its first national, AI framework. And there's more in this report.
At a time when artificial intelligence is reshaping economies across the world, Ghana says it is more than ready to own its first national AI system. Speaking at the African Internet Summit 2025 in Accra, Communications Minister Sam George revealed that a comprehensive national AI strategy has been completed and is awaiting cabinet approval.
Well, we've just finished work on the national AI strategy. It will be going to cabinet, and then after that we'll launch it. But I believe that with the kinds of minds that we have here in Accra and the expertise that we have in Accra, we're more than ready, not just to be consumers, but to actually be creators of AI solutions from the African continent. Because don't forget, a lot of the solutions out there now are not Afrocentric. And so there's a gap for you to be able to create African solutions that are AI-centered and AI-based. So yes, Ghana is ready for it.
Industry players say this is a defining moment for the country's digital space. Chairman of Ghana.com Limited, Ni Kweno, emphasized the importance of Ghana not only adopting but also owning artificial intelligence as a strategic national resource.
The difference is between us and the rest of the world. We are playing catch-up. That's why we say digital divide and so on and so forth. So I'm more interested in how I go with you, how we all go together. It's more of an interest for me. And I want to make sure that we are creating our own data, we are using our own methods to produce our own AI, or at least we have a niche of AI that is we who are supplying.
For government and stakeholders, the move is not just about technology, but about securing Ghana's place in the future of innovation and digital growth. For Joy News, Maxwell Aklobatos report, read to you.
Let's do politics now, because the chairman of the New Patriotic Party's Communication Directorate, Nana Akomia, has hailed Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as a candidate with a clear and unmatched vision to drive Ghana's infrastructural development. Speaking in Cape Coast during the former vice president's two-day tour of the central region, where he met with NPP regional and constituency executives as part of efforts to rally support for his flag-bearer bid, Nana Akomia argued that none of the other contenders possess the vision and leadership qualities that position Dr. Bawumia as the right choice to lead the party into the 2028 general elections.
Support for former Vice President and New Patriotic Party MPP flag-bearer aspirant Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is gaining momentum as his campaign team intensifies efforts to secure his victory as the party's flag-bearer. In Cape Coast, some members of the team held a strategic meeting with MPP regional and constituency executives, rallying back in to cement Dr. Bawumia's nomination as the flag-bearer of the MPP. At the meeting, the chairman of the MPP Communication Directorate, Nana Komia, described Dr. Bawumia as the only aspirant with a clear vision for Ghana's future, insisting that none of the other contenders match his leadership qualities.
Even his vision for infrastructure, as was presented at UPSA, none of the other contestants has shown us that breadth of vision. If they have, let me know. But none of the contestants have shown us that breadth of vision that Bawumia has shown. And you even look at his character. In the NPP constitution, they say that the leader should be of good character. It's not for nothing, because the leader should be a role model. And when you look at character, Bawumia's character is the kind of character the party can sell to the rest of the country. You don't want a leader who gives you some support, the next day is broadcasting. And so even in terms of character, Bawumia has the kind of character that you can sell to the rest of the nation, and all those things. The delegates are totally sold on that message. I mean, some people will bring money. Somebody will bring 1,000 cedis, somebody will bring you 500 cedis. After 1 week, it's gone. It's the power that can bring you lasting benefits, and that's what he's telling the delegates.
Also present, former Transport Minister Kweku Fore-Siama called for a campaign devoid of insults, urging the media to resist becoming a platform for derogatory commentary.
Because I don't know, after the problem, what do we need? We need unity. You can't insult somebody publicly, then later you want to pass back in the night to go and see him and go and no. I don't think that it serves anybody good. So please, I'm telling you, if you are interview anybody and the person starts insulting, cut him off. It's not a good example. Don't let anybody know that you are giving your medium to people to come there to come and insult. Politics is not. If you read our constitution, it doesn't talk about political insult. It talks about ideas. It talks about contest. The contest doesn't mean that you should go and insult anybody. So please, I'll plead with you. Don't allow anybody to use your medium to insult any aspirant, whether it be NPP or I detest insult in politics.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lissel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Let's turn our focus now to the education sector. And at Achimota, tradition is more than just a memory, it's a legacy. And for the 1986-year group of the Old Achimota Association, their 40th anniversary was not just about looking back, but about building forward. Over the weekend, they launched and cut sword for a legacy project aimed at preserving the school's heritage with a particular focus on refurbishing the iconic agri-chapel. From clergy to diplomats and captains of industries, members of the year group converged from across the globe. Some joined in virtually in a celebration of pride, purpose, and the spirit of giving back. My colleague Maxwell Akloboto has more on the following report.
It was a homecoming of joy and nostalgia as the 1986 year group of the Old Achimota Association converged on campus to launch and cut sword for their 40th anniversary legacy project. The event attracted members from far and near, including past students of other schools, underlining the enduring bonds forged in secondary school. Speaking at the ceremony, patron of the 1986 year group, Archbishop Charles Gabriel Palmer Bako, who served as the Catholic chaplain at Achimota School between 1985 and 1992, commended the initiative. He believes such projects will inspire present-day students to embrace the culture of leaving behind lasting legacies.
My main aim of being here is maybe to encourage them, most of whom are now parents, to encourage the students here to also think of leaving a legacy one day. It is you, the person, who becomes a legacy. The brick, mortar, the cement and the rest is there, yes, but it is that which you hand over as a parent, as a Ghanaian citizen, as a world citizen. That is what goes on to make you.
Guest of honor, business magnate Dr. Oforisapon urged students to uphold discipline, stressing that while all students are investing to improve learning conditions, it is up to the current generation to make the most out of those opportunities.
All students to be hardworking, they should learn hard and then ensure that they take their studies seriously. They should be honest children and then disciplined, and then I think all that their heart desires would come to them. I also ask our children to be disciplined, because this is an institution. We are here to be trained. So the best is for you to be disciplined.
Ghana's former ambassador to Belgium and permanent representative to the European Union, Harriet Boateng, herself a member of the 1986 year group, drew attention to the strain on the iconic Agri Chapel. She noted that the refurbishment of the chapel is central to the group's legacy project.
This chapel was built in the 1950s, and right now the school population cannot take the numbers. The students, there's always an overflow, that we don't have the disabled ramp. There are lots of deficiencies. Right now, technology also feeds into whatever infrastructure that has been put up years ago. So what we have decided to do to take care of the growing numbers is to connect the Agri Chapel to the old assembly hall with fiber optic cables.
The 1986 year group says beyond marking a milestone, their project is a testament to Achimota's long-standing tradition of nurturing leaders who give back to society. Maxwell Akloboto's report read to you.
Now, a staggering $165 million. That's what the state spent on a 15-kilometer suburban railway meant to connect Kojokrom, Sekendi, and Takrady, and yet today it lies abandoned. Stations 1 buzzing with passengers, and goods are now rusted and silent. The gleaming gates and metal seats have lost their shine, overtaken by weeds and cobwebs. There's more on the following report. Rusted dreams by the Fourth Estate.
Guys, so these are the trains brought by President Mahama. They've been here for the past 5 months. They haven't moved. Fully air-conditioned trains.
Ghana's dream of a working railway has remained stuck on the tracks. Even the much celebrated launch of the Tema Mpakadan service was derailed literally when the brand new diesel multiple unit crashed into a truck which had been parked right on the tracks. Accra to Nsawam line not operational. Accra to Tema line in urgent need of modernization. Takrady to Takwa service suspended after derailment. Many others are still under construction. The managing director of the Ghana Railway Company, Dr. Michael Ejay Anyete, admits the company is far from where it should be.
As I speak with you, Honorable, I know you may have heard for some time now, exactly 6 months, am I right? The railway worker has not received salary. And Honorable Minister, I am not going to blame this government. What we are seeing now is a cumulative effect. When I say cumulative effect, I know we will all understand. It didn't start from this government. But the good news is that there is hope.
But why has Ghana's railway story been on pause for so long? To find out, let's rewind.
Nananum, the reconstruction of this line, which forms an integral part of the Western Railway line, is therefore a signal of the beginning of a new era in rail transportation in Ghana.
Well, we'll bring you the full story in subsequent bulletins right here on the Joy News channel. Let's now do business. Top story in business. The business community is calling on government to ensure the successful completion of the 5th review under the IMF program, describing it as critical to stabilizing the city, restoring microeconomic confidence, and attracting much-needed foreign direct investment. Speaking to Joy Business, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, that's the GNCCI, Stefan Mizan Abbas said businesses remain optimistic that progress under the IMF program will bring predictability to the economy, enhance export revenue, and create a more conducive environment for private sector growth.
Review gives confidence. It brings foreign direct investment into the economy. Our city strengthens, and therefore, for us in the business community, our investments are strengthened. Export revenues becomes high. So it is very important for us in the business community that this review turns out very successful. We've been to this IMF for the 17th time, and we are expecting that this time the indicators would also ensure that governance are strengthened so that we don't go back into this IMF again, which is very important for our economy.
And the World Bank is urging a comprehensive review of the Bank of Ghana's foreign exchange intervention program. This follows the bank's latest report revealing that nearly $4 billion was spent between November last year and May 2025 to stabilize the city. The World Bank becomes the second major institution after the IMF to raise concerns about the sustainability and impact of the central bank's intervention.
The World Bank in its report says the action by the regulator resulted in almost 60% appreciation of the Ghana cedi during that period. But the World Bank noted that even though this might be celebrated, there are concerns about the sustainability of this move. The World Bank was worried about the impact of this on Ghana's international reserves if the pressure on the cedi is sustained. In the medium term, the World Bank says an appreciation of the exchange rate could harm exports and boost imports, showing an accumulation of the foreign exchange reserves. But in the long-term effects, the bank says could include price distortions and could weaken local production, as well as tradable goods, reduce the country's competitiveness, and hinder ongoing structural reforms aimed at transforming the Ghanaian economy.
Well, that's it for the business bulletin. But of course, we'll check out how goods are being sold on the commodity markets, and of course, how some foreign currencies are trading as well. And of course, we'll bring you sports. I'm Noella Karanyali.
Time for sports on the AM show with me, Haruna Mubarak. Now, three-time World Boxing Champion Azumah Nelson has been appointed Vice Chairman and Special Technical Advisor to the newly formed Boxing Interim Management Committee. The committee, which was inaugurated on Monday by Sports Minister Kofi Adams, has been tasked with overseeing professional boxing in Ghana. Muftar Nabila Abdullahi has more in this report.
In the early 1980s, Ghana went through a revolution. A revolution many people actually believe divided this country. But guess the tool that was used to unite this country? Boxing. Azumah Nelson, the gentleman who walked into the ring with his own referee and redefined what it meant to be a Ghanaian. There was so much pride, and his victories brought unity, as the celebrations within the Ghanaian community had no political or tribal lines. Today, Ghana boxing is at crossroads. Massive crossroads to the extent that some people, some stakeholders within the boxing community actually marched up to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation in search of the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yawa Ankra, for the suspension of boxing activities in the country. Ghana boxing is at crossroads, but the Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, actually believed that lots can be done to be able to steady the ship of the sport in this country. There was an emergency stakeholder meeting with all the people involved within the Ghana boxing fraternity, and there was the inauguration of a 9-member committee to staff the affairs of boxing.
As a sector minister, I have every reason to be worried. But I also believe that enough is enough. We cannot sit idle by while the sport we love deteriorates. Ghana boxing is bigger than any individual. It is a national asset that must be preserved and nurtured for generations to come. And it should not be during our time that we bring to a sudden death this sport that has been nurtured and grown and established Ghana at the international level long before other sports did.
The Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has revealed the tenure of this committee chaired by the Venerable Samir Katan.
The work is staggered. There are some of the issues that we want done may take even a very long time to conclude on them. But the immediate term we are giving them is 3 months. 3 months. They can request for an extension for another period, not more than 30 days. So it is my considered view that some of the work we want them to do, they should be able to do it within maximum 4 months.
Samir Katan will be assisted by Azumah Nelson, the man who was actually the major tool in the unity that Ghana had in the 1980s after the junta. And he's expected to bring his experience to bear to ensure that the sport is brought back to its heydays.
We have accepted this position to streamline boxing back to its glory days. And I believe what I wanted to say, the Honorable Minister have said it all. And I have it on paper too. He has said everything. And we are going to implement it strongly. We take the law. Law is law.
Well, this committee has got 3 months to change the face of Ghana boxing. This sport is a sport that has brought the country together many times. And it shouldn't be a sport that should be at crossroads. Muftau Nabila Abdullahi for Joy Sports.
Now, the Ghana Football Association has submitted a budget of $1.12 million for the Black Stars' upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifiers in October. The budget covers Ghana's away game against the Central African Republic in Casablanca on October 8 before the home clash with Comoros in Accra on October 12.
An estimate that is within acceptable range. And the ministry had no cause to add any comments whatsoever to what was presented, but to just sign a covering letter and to forward this to the office of the president for consideration. And I must commend the FA for responding to this and acting accordingly. The impress, for example, that office of the president had caused to cut the last time had now even been reduced below what was even approved the last time from the office of the president. So what it means that the impress is now 10,000 instead of even the 20,000 that was approved the last time, or the 60,000 that was estimated. So you can see clearly a clear departure from what it is that we had the last time and now, meaning that we all are responding to the issues as directed by His Excellency the President. Some other components that existed in the previous estimates did not find space in these current estimates. What it means is that the FA has also agreed that as part of their management responsibility and some of the other funds that are raised, they could easily take care of issues to do with fueling their buses to perform functions of moving players from their camp to the stadium or any other place to airport and what have you. So all these have been taken care of. So the cost for the away game came to $733,000. Total expenditure for our home game to $387,000. When you put this together, it comes to $1,120,000. That's $733,000 and $387,000.
Now, Black Starlets head coach Prosper Nate Ogum says his side is ready for their semi-final showdown against Nigeria in the Wafu Zone B Under-17 Boys Championship. Ghana head into the clash in high spirits after a 3-1 win over Niger in their final group game. Victory tonight at 7 p.m. will secure the team a place at next year's Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations.
The spirit in camp, the common spirit of the group is very high. Each player looks very confident, looks very ready to make sure that he delivers come tomorrow so that we'll get the results to book a place in Morocco for the AFCON. So technical team players, everybody's excited, everybody's ready to work, and everybody is very hopeful, very confident. In terms of the errors we committed, we've identified them through video sessions. We've tried to practice on them. So we expect that there will be an improvement over the defensive shape that you saw in the last game. And then we also hope that if same situations occur, the errors that were committed, they wouldn't repeat them, because we've shown it to them, they've seen them, and then we have practiced them to correct those errors that they committed. So I'm very confident that we'll have a better defensive shape, a better defensive organization, and then a better defensive focus. Of course, we are at this stage, if you don't score, you don't qualify to the final, and you don't book the ticket to AFCON in Morocco. So once we are aware they score, that's the main reason why we put them there. So I'm very confident, and they are also very confident. The entire team is very confident that once we create the few chances that come our way, we'll be able to convert those chances. So as the head of the technical team and the head of the playing body, I'm very confident that if chances are created.
Now, away from football, as part of efforts to strengthen workplace bonds and promote healthy living, Prudential Bank Ghana held a health walk as staff and management joined in the exercise. My colleague Eyinga Walter was there and has more in this report.
The initiative, dubbed the Step Challenge Special Health Walk, saw staff of the bank walk a distance of about 19 kilometers. The route started from its headquarters in Kanda, through Sankara Junction, Kawukudi Road, Airport Junction, the 37 Military Hospital, the Jubilee House, and then back to the headquarters. Led by the Human Resource Administrator, Lillian Enchua Asante, the walk was described as a spectacle.
We set aside 4 months as a health month because we realize that most people think that when you do a health event, it's a one-day event. You do a health walk one day, one Saturday, finish, have a party, and that is it. But we wanted to ensure that people develop the habits and that it becomes a culture to put your health at the forefront of your mind. So we set aside 4 months. So in June, we had our health check. It was mandatory. Every employee had to go through the health check. And then from July through to September, we did a step challenge. So we virtually walked from Accra to Tamale, and we had teams of 8, and each team had to do at least 3,700 kilometers.
The managing director, Mr. Edward Comey, added that the health walk was also a step towards building stronger bonds among employees.
So apart from the health benefits, i.e. having healthy minds and healthy bodies now, I think for us as a corporate firm, we're looking at the employee camaraderie, where we break that silo between the senior folks and the junior folks now. So an opportunity for us to come together as a team now, for us to be more creative and more innovative now. So we break all those silos now. But I think for us, it's one of the main means of trying to bring the staff together now for us to foster with one mind towards serving of our clients.
Some employees who took part also shared their experiences, describing the walk as both refreshing and rewarding.
Oh, it was exciting. The truth of the matter is, for some time now, I haven't been exercising. However, with this kind of initiative from HR, we've been able to exercise perfectly over the period. And this exercise and this aerobics is so exciting. I'm excited to be part of this team.
As they say, a healthy body is a healthy mind. Well, we are doing this, to show the bondage between, the staff, and also to invite the public to do business with us.
The work was so nice. It was very good, so energizing, and it's good to always keep fit. Once in a while, we have to exercise our bodies and keep our bodies in shape. So we really enjoyed this work very much.
We stand for strength and resilience, okay? It's one step at a time. What is important is moving forward.
To the Champions League, Jose Mourinho returns to Stamford Bridge tonight as he brings his Benfica side to face Chelsea. The Portuguese manager was hugely successful during his 2 spells with the Blues, winning 3 Premier League titles, 3 League Cups and an FA Cup. Now, current Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca is relishing the opportunity to face Mourinho.
Yeah, we make sure, or we try at least to prepare every game to win the game. And hopefully we can do that tomorrow. I feel already quite like to be in some picture at the training ground with the Club World Cup. So I feel already lucky with that after 1 season. But for sure the target is hopefully one day, not only with the Club World Cup, also with the conference. But for sure the target is one day we can all together enjoy this kind of moment. I said probably was the first question, I guess. For me, it's first of all a privilege to represent this club in the Champions League. For sure, it's also a privilege to face a fantastic manager like Jose tomorrow.
I will always be a Blue. I'm part of their history, and they are part of my history. I helped them to become a bigger Chelsea, and they helped me to become a bigger Jose. When I say I'm not a blue, I hope everybody understands it, that I'm speaking about the job that I have to do, tomorrow. But in relation to these pictures, there are not many clubs that do this, because in many clubs it looks like there is a fear of what happened in the past, and there is a continuous transformation of pictures. Sometimes it looks like they want to delete people that made history in the clubs. I think this show that Chelsea is really a big club, because big clubs are also about principles. Let's go tomorrow. Will be my Chelsea until start. Will be my Chelsea after the game. During the game, that's my Benfica, and the only thing that matters.
Obviously a big game tonight, but we've got other fixtures to look forward to on match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. And of course, Chelsea, they will be up against Benfica at 7 p.m. But it starts with Real Madrid at 4:45 p.m. They take on Kairat from Kazakhstan. Atalanta, they take on Club Brugge from Italy. Marseille, after their defeat to Real Madrid in their opener, they will be hoping to bounce back against Ajax. Inter Milan, they hope to make it back-to-back wins as they face Slavia Praha. And of course, the big one, Chelsea up against Benfica. We've got Galatasaray, who also will entertain Liverpool. Pafos will also take on Bayern Munich. And of course, Bodo Glimt will lock horns with Tottenham Hotspur. And that's your sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. The AM show continues right after this. Please stay.
There, welcome back to the show. This is the AM show. Today promises to be another exciting one, and it's time for the news review. And this morning we're joined by Afel Money, former President GJA, and also Dixon Cheredua, his MP Brekum West, and also Kojo Poku, Executive Director, Institute for Energy Policy and Research. We're a little later going into the news review, but first of all, Noella is on standby to bring us what's happening in front of the newspapers. Noella, what's on the newspapers?
There's a lot. Well, we're going to begin with the Daily Graphic, and of course, local governance expert Professor Hoy is the one leading on the front page. Says Ghana has too many districts. It's counterproductive, and he's basically criticizing the proliferation of district assemblies in the country. Find that story on page 3 of the Daily Graphic. Also, Get Fund disburses 4.3 billion Ghana cedis to support educational activities. That story is on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Now, 52,492 SHS placement cases resolved. I'm sure a lot of parents this morning will be heaving a sigh of relief. Find the story on page 13 of the paper. Dialysis, sickle cell treatment free. That's according to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital CEO. And all you need, actually, is just your insurance card, your national health insurance card, to access that free treatment from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. At the back page of the Daily Graphic, we have Education Minister receives report from PTA Guidelines Committee. The rest of the story is there. And 1 MW solar power plant start at Dowinya. Find that story at the back of the Daily Graphic as well. Let's check out more of the stories that's making rounds. Daily Guide has GES fires Randy assistant headmaster for fondling students' breast. Well, if you were on social media yesterday, I'm sure you must have seen the video. Really, really terrible. I was appalled when I saw it myself. And it's refreshing to know that some decisive actions have been taken. Also, Baumia Haruna lead NPP NDC race. Well, that's according to a new poll conducted by Musa Danko's Global Info Analytics that pegs the former vice president, for example, as the country's favorite, with 57% of voters opting for him to lead the NPP during the 2028 general elections. And the NDC's Haruna Idris, who's currently the education minister, with 27%. There's more on the story. You can find that on page 3 of the Daily Guide. Also, Kolebu AG, well, I think I've read this story, but you can also find it on the Daily Guide, I beg your pardon. Mesia names new Asante Hima this week. Fingers crossed we get to be introduced to the new Asante Hima, whoever she will be. She will be the 15th Asante Hima of the Ashanti Kingdom, and so you can imagine a lot of people would be looking forward to that announcement by the Ashanti Kingdom. Let's check out more of our stories making the rounds. Well, Economy Times says government to rake in 270 million US dollars for the next year from Ahafo Mines as it pours first gold. Find the story on the front page of the paper. Target IDA for cheaper loans. World Bank advises and recommends policy direction for growth as well. Let's check out more, and we're going to be continue with the insight. And it says JACPA demands prosecution of ex-AG over alleged misconduct. I think the story, we talked about it yesterday as well. It was in the papers. Well, it's still in the papers. Gold for oil scam. Mani calls for prosecution of officials over alleged money laundering, gold smuggling as well. That story is on page 3 of the Insight. Brainsfield Company boss rubbishes accusation of land grab is on page 10. It's an interesting story here by one CEO of Pribet, who is also the Ghana's consul to Guinea-Bissau, who is actually asking us to rename our airport from Kotoka to something else, because according to him, the current name does not depict our democratic values. Whatever that means, find that out on page 5 of the Insight. Ghana-China ties must empower youth. That's according to the Vice President of the country. We find the story on page 2 of the Insight. And I think basically that's just about it. Let's check out what's also trending on digital media as well. But before we do that, government to roll out in Kokon Ketinketi program. This was famous during the campaign period for the NDC. It's interesting to note that the Agric Minister says they'll be rolling out that program with 3 million birds. That's in the Overseer paper, page 3. Also, Asempa FM Sekosi saying makes history with 4th CIMG radio program of the year. I guess congratulations to us. That's our sister station. And Kennedy Japon's team demands disciplinary action against Wuntumi and Abronye. Well, Wuntumi because he had stated that the upcoming primaries for the NPP is designed to favor a particular candidate, and Abronye because he says he's responsible for compiling the Bunu regional voting album for the NPP, and as such will emit some individuals, their names, so as to prevent them from voting. Well, it's instructed to know that the party has issued a statement distancing itself from those statements, but you can find that story on page 4 of the Overseer. Let's now check out what's trending on digital media. Let's first do My Joy Online, and Mahama's human speech ticked all the boxes. I am proud of him. That's according to Eben Chambers. Also, Mahama's human address boldest in years from an African leader. That's also according to Professor Ajimendia. People focus more on weddings than marriage itself. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings is saying that, well, you should check that interview out on Talk No de Cook Rice podcast. OSP detains Gold Ridge Refinery Limited CEO. Find that story on myjoyonline.com. Mahama's bold UN speech took me back to Nkrumah days, also by Professor Ajimendia. There's more from Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, who says it won't fix itself. Zaneto on why marriage demands constant work. YouTube to pay $24.5 United States million actually, to settle Trump lawsuit over Capitol riot. And also Trump and Netanyahu agree new Gaza peace plan. I guess the heat is getting to them. Also, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban separate after 20 years. Find that story on myjoyonline.com. Let's check out what's on City newsroom says Mahama to engage CSOs on galamsey on October 3. And we've done more in 9 months than was done in 8 years. That's according to the Communications Minister, Sam George, on galamsey issues. And Ghana's per capita income to triple by 2050 with bold reforms. That's according to the World Bank. It's on City Newsroom. But basically, these are some of the stories that's trending this morning on our digital space and in the newspapers as well. But of course, MFA Adeti is on standby to get into details of these stories with her able panelists. MFA, take it away.
Thank you so much, Noella. You're so amazing. So that's it for the newspapers. Definitely, we're going to get about 2 or 3 of them that are quite outstanding, and then we'll get into it. And of course, if you see Kojo Puku, you know that he definitely will be interested in something energy, something oil, something that's got to do with our energy sector, definitely.
Well, yes, if there is any, but I don't think there's been anything like that.
Good for oil.
Good for oil.
Good for oil.
Oh,
maybe trickle down to it.
I honestly, let me tell you, let me say something. Look, we should move away from a country of mediocrity to a country of seriousness.
Is it?
Ghana is becoming a country where somebody wakes up in the morning and writes an article that pigs can fly, right? And journalists will start calling all the experts to ask them whether it's true whether pigs can fly. That is where we're heading to. Imani, I know.
Yeah.
I know Franklin, I know Kofi. But if you read the press statement they put out there, they said that they have reviewed an international audit, right? I have seen that audit they are referring to. There is no name to it. There is no organization to it, okay? And if you read it, it's frivolous. I want to say on national television today, Imani should tell us who authored that assessment. It will help us interrogate it better. Because if you read it, it impugns companies' integrity. It impugns technocrats and civil servants' integrity. Today, do you know who was the head of Gold for Oil? Ene, the person who is the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. He was head of Gold for Oil at the Bank of Ghana. You can't put this frivolous document in the public domain and talk about potential losses. This 7.2 billion that they talk about is not a loss. They talk about potential. What is potential loss? How does one sit and put something in the public? And every journalist is feeding on it.
I mean, because of course you'd expect that journalists will feed on it because it's the money. Yeah. Of course.
No, but it's potential. Nobody has lost that money.
I don't think we discuss things that are just resultants. We as well discuss things that are potential.
No,
do we not?
There's no need for...
Journalists are trained to doubt.
Well, that's fine. But my dear, let me say something. When somebody issues a document and says that there are 7.5 legal exemptions, which is what happens in the industry. What they talk about, which is the exemptions in the importation of fuel, is what's happening before Gold for Oil, what's happening during Gold for Oil, is happening today. That is the practice in the sector.
Okay.
Petroleum products are exempted and the taxes are recovered from you and I at the pump. If you go to GRA today, GRA is in court with a lot of BDCs and OMCs to recover taxes. MPA bust is with OMCs to recover margins. It's the practice in the industry.
So it's not surprising.
No. From journalistic point of view, I think it's not in the interest of this nation to be overly dismissive.
No, nobody is dismissive. No, the point I'm making is that I have worked in this industry for 24 years. Practical experience of working, not somebody going to school and coming back and reading documents. No, I have worked in this industry for 24 years. If there are things that are wrong, I'm a member of a civil society, we'll point it out. What I'm saying is that the document which Imani is referring to, the reason I'm discrediting it is that it has no author, it has no institution to it. So I don't know where it came from. All the premise upon which it makes the conclusion is false.
Okay.
100%
I mean,
false.
and it is wet probing because then if we didn't probe, then of course imagine Imani just put it out there and then we mute on it and then we don't ask questions. And we're not just asking anybody at all. Of course, I introduce you, somebody who's an expert. And so what you say would really matter. But before we even get into whether or not it's worth discussing, I'll come to you later. But let me go to you. Have you seen the document? I also was asking questions about the source. They indicate that it is a forensic audit, what amounts to a forensic audit. This means that it's quite exclusive to them, and so it should be audited. This is what Imani is saying. At the end of that long report, they said that, and so the Gold for Oil program should be audited. I see that the NPP as well has responded saying that, of course, it was accounted for in the audits, especially for BOST. All of it nearly accounted for. So what again are we asking for an audit for? But the question today is it worth revisiting to audit or not? Is it because it doesn't have a particular point or source where this forensic audit is coming from? Should we just put it on the side, or is it worth looking at again? If you look at this report. And plus many other things that are happening in the news today. We'll get into, of course, the Minister for Communications. And are you satisfied? Of course, this man is a football lover. He loves football. He watches football. A football lover. You do, huh?
Barca.
Aha. Oh, you're a Barca fan.
Yeah, Barca
Oh,
fan.
Lord. Oh, my dear Chelsea. What would I do with you? But so we'll get into that. Are you satisfied at all? Is this were you expecting something more? Did you really desperately wanted that the price cut would be done rather than giving us value? We'll get into all of that and many more issues, but let's address the report. Is it worth auditing?
I did read Imani's report, and a key element in that report is that the Gold for Oil program should be subjected to further scrutiny, thorough investigation. To me, that is the biggest element of this report. So it's as I said, we are trained to doubt. So if you are doubt, you interrogate. So this is a time not only to be dismissive, but to ruminate on this report, subject to further scrutiny, analysis, see where it went wrong, where it went right, so that it will inform how we tackle a program of this nature in future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable, you surely have seen this report.
Sure.
And I nearly share in the sentiments of Kujo, who says that he has no source. We're only talking about this because, of course, it's from Imani. And over the years, Imani
and in terms of credibility, Imani does not lack.
Of course. I mean,
yeah.
If not for Imani, I'm certain there are a lot of people have uttered things about this Gold for Oil, and we have not had to sit at a table and then want to discuss it on television this morning. But you have seen it. How do you feel about this report? What do you expect the government to do with the report?
Surely,
especially with the response.
I've seen it, but let me say a good morning to the good people of Brekum West who are watching me this morning. And I'm very surprised my brother Kojo is rubbishing this very important report.
Have you seen the report?
Put that I have read. I have read.
You've read what Imani has read, or you've read the report?
I have read the entire report.
The actual forensic report. Let me get it straight.
What is
Kojo, two things.
I'll ask the questions, though.
Kojo, I have read the report.
The forensic report or the Omani report?
Besides that report.
It would be nice to know that he's read the report. So
you know
which one?
Kojo, you know the government of the day injected in excess of 4.6 billion in 2022 into the Gold for Oil deal. In 2023, a loss of over 300 million was made. In 2024, a loss of 1.8 billion, totaling in excess of 2.1 billion. About half of what government injected into the Gold for Oil deal vanished. So if somebody is calling for further probe, what is wrong with that? Forget about the report. But are you disputing the fact that in December 2022, when Ghana entered into this deal, an amount of 4.6 billion was involved, and in the government's own report in 2023, they announced losses of up to 317 million Ghana cedis. In 2024, further losses of 1.8 billion. So over a 2-year period, 2.1 billion was lost through the deal. So if somebody calls for further probe, what is wrong with it? So I'm looking for further probe into it. In any case, if people call for audit, it does not necessarily mean somebody has committed any crime. It is through the audit that the people involved will either be exonerated or be found wanting. Yeah. So what do we fear about calling for further probe into it? So I fully support this probe, and I think Imani is on the right call.
I think Kojo asked a very important question. It says that Have you read the report, and which one of the reports have you read?
I've read both. I've read Imani's opinion on it. I've read the forensic report, yes. And I also have further information to which we're not part of that report. That's what I'm saying. Ghana entered into this deal in December 2022. So besides what's contained in the report, we know, and government admitted in the past, that in 2023 we lost 300 million. In 2024 we lost 1.8 billion. Are these losses not worth further investigating? That's the point we are making.
Let me help you.
You see the point of what?
No, let me help you.
What are money at the end of the day? Which I align fully with my senior Afremoni is that Imani, a very credible institution, has done investigation and calling for further audit into it. So what is wrong? Forget if the report of Imani is nothing to write home about, the further audit will indicate the people involved. So what's the big deal?
Let me help you. You see this? It's from Bank of Ghana. I started this whole thing because you know that bank.
What particularly?
This you can read.
And what is it about?
Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, so let me give you guys a bit of a background. Initially, when gold for oil was announced, I was against it. I was vehemently against gold for oil. I initially, hold on, my brother, let me finish. So I wrote to the Bank of Ghana and saying that being an industry expert, what role or what does Bank of Ghana got to do with doing gold for oil? Because we know that in this industry, when you get involved in these things, you can have losses and you can lose money. That was our first letter, Institute for Energy Policy and Research. We wrote to the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana wrote to us and said that they have ticked all the boxes, they have put all the measures in place. Neither BOST or Bank of Ghana will make any losses because they have what? Put the right measures in place.
But at the end of the day,
oh my brother, let me finish. Please pass my phone.
At the end of the day, losses.
So we now heard that there were losses. I'm like, what's going on? So I wrote again to the Bank of Ghana that I am hearing that there is a 2.19 billion loss in gold for oil. Please, you assured us that there will be no losses. Then Bank of Ghana wrote back to us with this letter and said, let me read briefly. At the close of financial year 2020, a cumulative 2.14 billion were incurred on the gold for oil program.
2020.
At the end, no, they are saying that at the year end 2024.
Okay, yeah, you said 20.
Right, 2024. Now, 320 million was made in 2023 and 1.8 billion was made in 2024. Now, listen to where the losses came from. Bank of Ghana goes on to say that the losses...
So you're admitting there were losses?
My brother, nobody...
Let's have him land and let's see.
But this is something that I have sat on this platform and talked about over and over. Everybody knows that Bank of Ghana made losses. But Bank of Ghana made losses from the FX differential. They admitted themselves that, listen, he's saying that a program helped reduce demand for US dollars from the bulk oil distributors. A total of 1.6 billion would have otherwise increased demand on the FX. Now, the bit where they talk about the FX, yes, it says losses on gold transactions amounted to 1.8 billion, which were mainly due to exchange rate differential.
Mainly doesn't mean...
Hold on. So
it doesn't mean wholly.
Oh, my brother, Bank of Ghana, I told you earlier that the man who is now the first deputy governor was the one who headed this program. Bank of Ghana admitted that there was about 2.1 billion losses. In their audited accounts, Bank of Ghana's audited accounts, they have declared this. Now, what Imani is talking about is not this. If you have read the document that you claim you've read, which I don't think you've read, because that document... I don't think you've read.
I think you should read that.
I know, no, because I'll put
Imani is talking about the gold for oil deal.
No. The report.
In Eastern Charity and the losses thereof.
No. Let me read Imani's first paragraph, please. Let me read.
Why are you so defensive this morning?
Let's interrogate this.
You've admitted
I will not allow you.
2.1 billion. And those losses should not be investigated.
From Bank of Ghana, no. But listen to Imani. Imani's reports, which everybody is jumping on. The paragraph of it is what it says: a confidential international forensic risk assessment. Have you read that?
Why haven't I read?
Where is it? Show me a copy. I can show you my copy. Show me my copy. You have not read the
Is it
a document that starts off like this? Let me show you.
Let me quote portions of that. What Imani said.
You are bringing Imani's report. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that this document this document that has been documented. My brother, I'm on TV. It says that audit alert, gold for oil program, forensic risk assessment. This document, do you have it?
Why haven't I have read the report.
No, but what are you talking about? What's the context?
No, I don't know what Kojo is running away from. So what are you running away from?
Let's have one.
You are going to
what are you running away from?
I'm not running for anything.
Assuming no wrongdoing. Assuming no wrongdoing.
I was not part of gold for oil.
No, but Kojo, what I'm saying is
Ghana person who was everything prosecuted. If there is a
Kojo, what I'm saying, assuming there is no wrongdoing.
We are on national television.
Somebody calls for further.
We are on national television.
Let me moderate.
I want to make a distinction.
Let me just moderate.
Just bear with me 1 minute. I want to make a distinction. There is a document, which I have just shown my brother, which says risk assessment, which Imani has based their report on. He hasn't read that report. The report is from Imani. And I'm saying that you haven't read that report.
If you read that report, they're talking about the opacity in the whole deal.
Yeah.
That's clear. The key word is opacity in the gold for oil deal. That needs to be investigated, and the opacity and the attempts to obfuscate the true nature of it, resulting into 2.1 billion, is what Imani is calling for further probe. There's no ambiguity about that.
About the FX, the FX
The FX is just one of the many factors.
It says in general.
Bank of Ghana.
So investigation will reveal whether it was
companies which have no experience in importing oil were even involved in this.
And contracts were not signed.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Contracts were not signed.
That statement
so the opacity
companies
is
that
what
have no
we're talking about.
experience in supplying, but they supplied. So what are you talking about?
And contracts were not involved. Contracts were not involved. So if somebody is calling
let me ask
to investigate this, what is wrong?
As an expert in this area, do you think that whether or not they cited the source of this forensic report, do you think that the whole report that Imani has drawn our attention to is worth probing?
No, it's not.
It's not worth probing?
Because there is two things. Bank of Ghana has done their internal audit. There's a report from Bank of Ghana which talks about a 2.14 billion loss. The reason for the loss is rightfully categorized in Bank of Ghana's audited accounts. BOST, as an institution, has an audited accounts for 2024. They've made a profit of over $400 million, 400 million Ghana cedis, which is rightfully included in that. Now, the opacity that people talk about, that goes to the heart. That's what I'm saying, that we need to know who authored that document, because understanding the downstream is very important.
The only way you know is when you start auditing. One of the ways.
No, but I'm saying that, look, if somebody wants, let me put this on record. If anybody wants audit code for oil, nobody has a problem with it. But what I am trying to put across is that you do not bring a ghost document which has no name on it, no institution on it, and start impugning people's integrity. Like my brother said, companies that they claim have no experience but supplied fuel into the market. Companies don't have to have experience.
Do you think that this process
how can they be vindicated
entirely from beginning to end? At the moment, at the first stage, of course, they haven't named the source of the report, but it states that it is based on forensic risk assessments titled "Gold for Oil Audit Alert." Forensic risk assessment, which you have just actually been telling us. The full document contains detailed data analysis and is held by oversight institutions for investigative purposes. Now, by the time this document is subjected to auditing, surely it won't be done in secrecy.
I agree.
The document definitely will be.
But the person who authored that document did not talk to NPA, did not talk to
Won't the audit now bring this to the
But I'm
fore?
saying that, so what we are doing is that we are setting an answer to 9, then going to find a question that will equate to 9. That's what we are doing. Somebody just that's what I'm saying, that we will wake up one morning, somebody will say that pigs can fly. And everybody's running around trying to get a justification why pigs should fly. We should stop that as a nation.
So if Imani cited the source and indicated where they got all of this information, it would be okay? Or we have to go a step further?
Poku can interrogate that person. I can't interrogate Imani because they are not the author of the document. The document is frivolous. It impugns people's integrity. So what we want to do as a civil society is to interrogate whoever altered that document. So what Imani should do for us, I know Kofi Bensola, I know Franklin Kujo, they are not the author of this risk assessment document. They should tell us who altered that document. That will help me and you.
Mr. Money, is that not a fair call?
I think we should be hesitant in apportioning blame. And, we should... Nobody loses if we subject this whole go for oil to a further investigation, comprehensive, thorough investigation, so that at the end of the day, whoever is found culpable will be exposed, whoever is innocent will have his name intact.
But Kojo also says that we can't just wake up one morning and then we have something we're running with. Is that
So, assuming there is no report whatsoever, as a member of parliament, if I come to sit on national television and say, as a result of the 2.1 billion Ghana lost through good for oil deal, there is the need for further probe. Is that not a legitimate call? So my point is, he's talking about people's integrity being impugned.
Why is this a legitimate call?
He's talking about people's integrity being impugned. The only way these people could be vindicated is when there is further probe. So it should be in the interest of people like Kojo and the MPP who released a statement.
Imagine there's 500 of you who have the opportunity to be on TV every day asking for auditing.
He claims people's integrity is being impugned. And these speculations will continue to trend. The only way they could be vindicated, in fact, if you are innocent in a case, you will rather jump at further investigation to exonerate you rather than to say, because you don't trust the resource, you don't know the source.
Exactly.
I have a question, though. But
you don't know the source. There's no need.
If you want an audited report, there's one that is existing. The Bank of Ghana has one. If you take the BOSS report as well,
MFR, do you know what the Public Accounts Committee is doing?
Okay, they are audited.
After auditors have audited, comes to Parliament, they're still probing further.
Okay.
So there's nothing wrong.
Not a fair
even after they've been audited, if people are not clear, and a credible institution like Imani has called for further proof. Why don't we probe further so that we come to conclusion of the matter?
If you don't have a problem with the audit, but you want the clarity. You want that character.
If it is not probe, Imani's allegation will still be hanging.
Okay.
If it is not probe, it will be hanging.
I see that.
First question. I, Kojo Poku, and everybody within MPP do not have a problem with probing gold for oil. You can probe it all you want.
But there was a release against Imani's position yesterday.
They made their party. They made their position.
Let me finish, please. Please. We don't have a problem with probing. The people that handled gold for oil were technocrats and civil servants and public servants who today are still at post. They are the committee that decided which cargo comes in. The Bank of Ghana had a committee that had an input where the money goes to. CBG, that was the bank where the escrows were kept, were there. BOST was the agency that did it. Today, Afeche is there. He can make all the documents available. So probe, nobody is against it.
Okay. So we should go ahead.
No, hold on. Of course, we should probe it.
Yeah.
What I am trying to say is that we are having a discussion today. Kojo Poku, as a civil society member, in good standing.
And as a member of
MPP. As a member
because you are wearing two caps. So you are not speaking entirely as a civil society person.
It's public knowledge that he's good. It's public knowledge.
Yeah. Saying something, please. Let me in the medical,
so your submission may be laced with political interest.
Let's allow the viewers to make that judgment.
In the medical profession, no doctor can get up and make a statement without their peers basically reviewing the statement they are making because it has implication. What Kojo Poku is saying is that I know Imani. They are credible. The reason we are discussing. Imani is citing a document. We don't know who authored that document. We don't know. Nobody has put their name to it. It's very strange for anybody to do such a risk assessment and not put their name to it, whether an institution or an individual. All I am saying is that Imani should come and tell us, the public, that document they are relying on to call for a forensic audit, which I support. who authored that document.
Does it make you feel any better when
Yes,
they say
I
that
think
it
it's
is
now
held?
beating a retreat.
When they
So
say
we
that
are okay
it is
with
held because
Sorry,
of
but you are
oversight.
beating a retreat now.
No, I'm not beating a retreat. That has never-
Initially you were vehemently opposed to further probe.
No,
in the
no,
report.
I've
I don't
never.
think he's
No,
made that
the report
point.
is not-
I don't think he has
did not make that
vehemently.
point, please.
He just thinks that the report by money, not the one that they cited. He says that the report by money is quite frivolous.
No, the one they are citing.
The one,
No.
oh, you actually are
Yes,
talking about
the source document is what
the
is
source
frivolous,
document,
not Imani.
not Imani itself.
No,
Okay,
the
so
source document is frivolous.
So does it make you feel any better that since you trust Imani and they're saying that this risk assessment document is held by an oversight institution, at least you don't want to trust the body that you...
because I have read the document. I have it. I've shown it to my
What's giving you...
No, because I have read it.
The risk assessment one, the one that they have cited.
Source document,
the
yes.
source document.
Yes.
What makes it not...
That's what I'm saying. It's frivolous because I have read it. And I have
Let
read
us
it.
in a bit.
Okay,
Let us in
so
a bit.
let me... It talks about laycans, right? Now, laycans is the apportioning of time at the port when ships comes to the port to berth and offload products. BOST doesn't control laycans. It's MPA that controls laycans. So they've got it wrong in that document. That's one.
Is this in practice?
Yes, in
is
practice.
It in document?
Yes,
or
in practice.
It is,
in practice.
So we have not had a situation where BOST is ever
BOST
indulged
is
in it.
not in the position of controlling laycans.
Okay.
Laycans are controlled by MPA. That's a fact. Two, when gold for oil was instituted, it was instituted by the government of the day. They are with Bank of Ghana, because I want to differentiate government from Bank of Ghana, because Bank of Ghana is sort of not part of government, right? Bank of Ghana and government decided to do gold for oil. Now, Bank of Ghana had direct oversight on gold for oil, on both sides. The committee was chaired by the people from Bank of Ghana. Now, who decides to do what was heavily subjected to a committee. The reason BOST was made as the only agency to handle gold for oil, BOST had storage. BOST was to do what they called an agency. So BOST didn't trade the products. They only earned a commission on selling the products. So the products were not traded. So it wasn't that it's BOST product that they bought and they will sell it for whatever price they want to know. There was a set price that, because bear in mind, the gold for oil was to mitigate certain factors. And because of that, the Bank of Ghana was very cautious with the government not to make those products very expensive. So the gold for oil products were not traded.
So reiterate the role of BOST in this gold
BOST
for
was
oil.
only an agency within the gold for oil. They were to basically store the products that comes in, sell it to the BDCs that will buy, and then put the money, then the BDCs will put the money in an escrow at CBG, right? And that money is used by Bank of Ghana to basically go. Those that were now interested in not paying for the products in cash, they wanted gold, Bank of Ghana will give them gold. This assessment document, risk assessment document, makes a lot of mistakes by saying that BOST arrogated onto itself. Meanwhile, the role that BOST took was not BOST that arrogated. It was government that gave BOST that permission to be an agent.
Who authored this risk assessment report?
That's the problem. That's the question.
But you have a copy of it.
Yes, but it has no name. That's the point I'm making. This document has no name or company. We don't know.
So
how do you know?
Reinforces the need.
So how do you know how do you know that that's the risk assessment?
Because let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me read something to you. In Imani's report, funny thing that has even come up that is very strange, and I sent it to Franklin Kujo, and I'll say it on national television, that they talk about 7.2 billion losses, right?
Yes.
That document does not mention 7.2 billion. In fact, what that document mentions is this. Let me read it out. And that is a paragraph they actually took out of the report. There is a paragraph that says that the convergence of these data sets reveals a consistent pattern of opacity, which my brother has repeated, right? Preferential access and structural loopholes across the gold for oil program, while approximately 7.5 billion in import stage exemptions were granted lawfully. The absence of transparent reconciliation downstream has left the state exposed to annual revenue losses estimated between $1 to $2 billion. Ghana cedis.
Did this find expression in...
This document is in the source document. It says it's in the boss document. They quoted it word for word. But where it says 1 to 2 billion, they put 7.2 billion.
This is now, it makes me even want to question it further. That the
Thank
one
you.
that you are...
That is why,
the one that you are reading,
Yes.
how do we know that it is the same one that Imani is citing?
My sister, read the document.
No, what I mean
what
is
I'm
that-
saying is that word for word.
But there's a twist, right? Word for word, but it didn't find full word for word expression.
No, the last word for word, verbatimly, at the last point where there is 7.2 gratefully granted. He has a document. Give me. Let me read it. No, you have to.
Don't do this. No.
Why you have it?
Why are you being so aggressive?
No, but I want
check the other one. It's the other one. Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
Here. Okay, here. Any. The petroleum leg of the program.
What are you reading from?
Give
me Imani one.
Yes, the Imani one says the petroleum leg of the program was no less troubling. While 7.5 billion in import tax exemptions were granted, the absence of transparent reconciliation downstream left the state exposed to revenue losses estimated at
2 billion. It didn't say 7.
So you see, hold on.
So now this is from Imani, right?
This is where the problem is.
Now I want to copy
it. Yes, that's been edited.
Okay.
Because it says what? What does it say at the end? It says 0.2. See,
it says 7.2 billion.
It says 7.2 or 0.2.
Which one? This says 7.5 is the index.
No. What does the last document say?
0.2. Is this just not an omission?
0.2. Now, tell me, where did the media get the 7.2 from?
Which 7 point? Which media?
Everywhere, yes.
No, we are talking about what?
No, but everywhere.
We're talking about the document.
On Joy News.
Let me make my
Joy News is here.
Let me make my concluding statement on this.
Okay, make
the issue is
statements. Yeah.
In December, Kojo, under the previous government, in December 2022, prices of petroleum products went over the roof. In fact, a liter of diesel was selling at 23 cedis. Gallon was over 100 cedis.
This is
let me finish.
Let me finish.
7.2.
So, this is my home, so I know it's 7.2.
MFA.
What does it say?
MFA, what I'm saying is,
in
2022, prices of petroleum went over the roof. In fact, 1 liter of diesel was selling at 23 cedis. 1 gallon was over 100 Ghana cedis. So the government of the day decided that the way to go to bring the prices down was to go via the gold for oil deal. But it ended up giving us further losses instead of solving the problem, rather compounded the problem by giving us losses exceeding 2 billion Ghana cedis. And now.
He asked that question.
Did you just print this one, or it was typed out again?
Now, MFA.
Yeah.
No,
however frivolous. I'm in the middle of a statement.
Answer the question.
Let me finish.
Let's not change the topic.
However,
from Imani.
7.2 came from Imani.
However frivolous, in Kwajo's words, that Imani's source report may be, the fact still remains that losses exceeding 2 billion, and I'm very happy. In Kwajo's own words, no matter how frivolous it may be, he still supports call for further probe.
Yes.
So what is the point of argument here?
But the point
that is the case. We don't need to.
Please ask
in fact,
in concluding this part of the news review,
the investigation.
Both of you, I have two questions. One for you, one for you. Okay. So this, because you have the source document, and this particular paragraph, you say that does not find expression in the source document.
No, it finds expression in the source document. But the source document says losses of 1 to 2 billion.
1 to 2 billion.
Yes, 1 to 2 billion.
Okay.
That is what the source document talks about.
Okay.
Imani puts out a document saying 7.2 billion. You
I haven't seen 7.2.
But it's on Joy, so Joy got it wrong.
I haven't seen
Joy published it yesterday.
MFA, this is from your own credible and fearless portal. That says it puts the losses at 2.1 billion.
2.1.
You printed this. So from your portal,
2.1.
2.1. There has never been 7.2.
Okay, so
that is your own creation.
So hold on. This is
2.1.
The tax exemption. Could you read what you have?
Okay, so let me now give you. Let me go a step further. Something Franklin sent me himself. Let me go a step further.
No, to be very honest, I don't see the point of debate here. We are all calling for one thing.
My brother.
Which you support.
Mr.
Afemoni support. So what is the point of debate here further? What is the point of debate?
What amount?
So that notwithstanding, that notwithstanding, forget about the mix-up.
What amount is there?
Estimated 7.2 billion.
Thank you. Give me. This is from Franklin himself.
But I think that
you have to read the whole story.
And is this not the reason why we should audit?
Yes, exactly. We agree. What I'm saying is that we agree.
All the question must reinforce the need.
Hold on. What I am saying is that I, Kojo Poko, agree that there should be an audit.
What is the point of Fed debate?
No, hold on. Let me land. And as MFA said, this is the end of it. I am questioning the source document which Imani starts its presentation by saying that they have cited a international forensic assessment audit. That document has no name, has no company to it. It's now being used to start something. We are now seeing 0.2. We are now
no, that's not point. That's 2 billion.
We are seeing
it might be typo. It's 2 billion.
It's typo, I think.
Okay,
but because I didn't know typo.
We are seeing 2 billion.
Typo.
We have seen 7.2 online. We've seen in Imani's own document that they shared with me 7.2, which I've showed MFA, right? So clearly, that whole thing.
So you are calling Imani to cite sources of this.
They should tell us.
They should tell us who that. Okay, and I think we're all on the same page. Whether cited or not, it will find expression.
Yes,
final
so that we can now interrogate that person on the issues they've raised.
Okay. I'm certain it will make everybody feel better. But let's talk about the DSTV reduction. It's been quite a journey with the ministry and us, especially for DSTV consumers, the service consumers. And yesterday, some people have described it as quite an anticlimax, that you're looking to have reduction, but instead you're getting a higher value for how much you're already paying, which means that if you had your decoder in the bin, you can go back and pick it. You don't have to trash your decoder, because then the core reason why we're asking for reduction was that people say that they were not enjoying value for their money, and yet it is expensive. The minister says that at least I've negotiated for some value in how much you're paying for the service. Mr. Money, how do you feel about this? Is this an anticlimax? Is this what you expected?
I will never describe it as something anticlimax, because what we're looking for, even though it delayed in coming, was eventually delivered. Between 30 to 50% additional value to subscribers of DSTV. That's all that we're looking for. So if you used to pay 200, now when the subscriber pay 200, you've upgraded to what people who pay 300 will get. So it's as simple as that. I don't know how it's been subjected to all kinds of interpretation, misinterpretations. Some judge delivered, even though it was late in coming. DSTV proved stubborn, disrespectful, and I don't know who even crafted their statements which they put out. It ignited more fury, fairer fury, than they invited the fury. So in the long run, some judge invited the head of DSTV, who was yesterday's press conference, and then they came to a finality that now subscribers will have additional value to what they pay for DSTV services. I think it's as simple as that.
So I'm going to skip you and come to him. I'll come to you after.
You remember the last time I was here before I went on recess, that was the topical issue on the table. And I would like to use this medium to say a big thank you to my brother, Sam George. He's done excellent work.
Yeah, he did.
My senior colleague has espoused it all. But I want to add further that there is absolute reduction. People are saying only the value, but there is a reduction.
Okay.
Let me explain how. So from tomorrow, new subscribers coming are going to pay the new rate. So
What's the new rate? It's the same rate, isn't it?
No, let me explain.
Okay.
I have a family package for my kids, but since the premiership started, I was going to go for the Compact Plus or Compact to have access to football matches. From tomorrow, with the same family, I can watch live football matches. So I don't need to spend any money to buy compact again. Am I not making huge savings with respect to that?
Yeah.
Because the key, as you know, most Ghanaians are going for these decoders because of live matches.
Yeah.
There are other people for other reasons, but mostly. So if you're paying less to have live matches, are you not making savings? And if you look at the family, now you are paying with 190 Ghana cedis, which is usually priced at 380. So you are saving 190, 50% savings, and you're going to get live matches. Is it not savings into your pocket?
Now you're paying 190 Ghana.
It is 190 that you pay for family.
Mm-hmm.
The compact is 380.
Yeah.
But now you are moved from family to compact, which is 380, without paying additional money.
What?
So you are saving 190 every month, and you'll be getting live matches as well. Okay. And MFA, for me, it is not only about savings to individuals, but this operation is also going to enhance revenue collection for the country. If you listen to the press conference and revelations that came up, that about 80% of subscribers in Ghana here are getting their decoders from Nigeria and paying taxes to the Nigerian government because of the volume they are getting over there. With these packages, live matches on even family package, and now with compact, you'll be moved to compact plus, and you will still be paying 380 on compact plus. So many Ghanaians will now, comparatively, if you look at going to Nigeria, there may not be any good reason to it because now the gap is completely closed in terms of pricing. So one, individuals are making savings. Two, the country
would be making
stands
some money.
to make revenue. So for that matter, whether you like him or not, people criticize his approach, but in negotiations, sometimes some level of belligerence is also important to get what you want. And at the end of the day, the result is telling for everybody to see that Sam George has delivered.
I see. On your screen now is how much you were paying before and how much you'll still be paying.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the value that you'd be getting, which is value addition for the same fee that you're already paying. I have a question, though. If you look at the way DSTV really presents their services, it allows for you to choose one that supports your lifestyle, your time, what suits your family. So while people are calling for value, one of the major questions people are asking is that, of course, if I had time to be watching what the compact offers, I may have gone for the compact already long ago.
No, because of the pricing, you know.
How did we arrive at this conclusion?
If you go for compact, probably me, I was going for family because I could not afford compact. Not that I didn't want compact. So now that with the same amount I'm paying for family, I migrated to compact. I'm making a savings of 190 Ghana.
How did we arrive at this conclusion that it is only because of the amount?
But this one, how can you be confused about this one too?
Because let me tell you why. I no longer use DSTV. I no longer use it. And you know what? In this world, we always say that if you aspire to do what somebody is doing, when the person is doing it, don't criticize it. When my brother KT Hammond was in the Ministry of Trade, and was taking on the cement people and trying to make sure that prices come down. The NDC in opposition took the MPP on, right? But sometimes we need government intervention in some of these things. DSTV has not been fair with Ghanaians. If you look at DSTV in South Africa, it's way cheaper than DSTV in West Africa. DSTV in Nigeria is cheaper than DSTV in Ghana. Why? Because they found a loophole to just increase the prices without anybody. Look, DSTV will increase the price this month. You go to pay your bill next month, they've added some 30 cedis. What Sam George should check on is not whether they've given him this price. Because I can assure you, by next year, they will have creeped the price up again.
This 570, the quarterly.
This 570 that they have reduced it to, that was what Premier used to be before. And for some reason, they creeped it up. Because before, DSTV was set in dollar. Then depending on what the cedi is, you convert it. Then they scrapped this $10, came with cedis. Now nobody knows how they price. So every month on month, they keep increasing. I no longer watch his DSTV.
But now you have value.
I won't go back. But let me see. The point you made is very true. People pick a package not about the money. Nobody looks at DSTV and say that, look, because look, it's a middle class conversation. When people are looking at DSTV, they are looking at what does it have kids? Does it have kids channels? Does it have this? Does it have, I like football. Which of the packages have football? Does it limit me to tennis? Some of them gives you F1. So somebody who likes Formula 1 will choose a package that allows him to watch Formula 1. So really and truly, it's a middle class conversation. People go for the packages that suits their need. The money thing comes secondary. Because today, like I said, these prices they've given will be there today. But trust me, by next year, it would have inched up again. So what the mechanism we should put in place is to monitor, but then that becomes a bit, you are now bothering on business, because then government is now coming in to monitor businesses and how they operate, which it shouldn't be allowed in our environment of capitalism. But I now think that DSTV took us for granted for too long.
For too long. And
it has taken some George to come in and do it. But these are some of the things that, for me, ministers from time to time at the Ministry of Trade should do, at various sectors, should look at the private sector and look at how they are basically increasing price on the ordinary Ghanaians. The next thing that I want him to do, something that he claimed he's done, but the MTN and the Vodafone just pull a wool over his eyes, is the packages for the data.
Data bundles.
Because you see, they claim they've reduced data.
Will you give him a minute to at least drool over this?
Oh, that's fine. But I'm just saying that with the vigor with which he fought this, he should use that same vigor to now put certain measures in place. Because you see, the data bundle, they reduced it. But the problem is that they give you more data, then they open the pipe. So when you now go, it all draws away. You understand? So it's like they've given you more water, but they now punch more holes in the sieve. So the minute you put the water in there, everything goes out. They gave us more in data, but they've now increased the price per megabyte or per kilobyte. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if you bundle 10 cedis, you are now getting, let's say, 1 gig. Then behind the scene, I increase the price per kilobyte. So though I've given you 10 cedis, more data for 10 cedis, I'm charging you more behind the scene for the per kilobyte. So the data I've given you will go quicker than it would have gone if I gave you less. So those are some of the things he should look at.
Okay.
One area the minister should look at is his money to operators of TV and radio who allow indecent, immoral, sexually explicit images on their screens.
I think he's indicated that quite soon they're going to be,
Exactly. This area we need to sharpen our focus on because of the critical importance. Because many people have become wayward. Many people have become vagabonds, miscreants, armed robbers. Not because they were born so, but because of what they consume on television and social media. True. The moral center of the nation is almost gone, replaced by unrealistic expectations, by inordinate greed, by unbridled corruption, by unscrupulousness of all forms and shapes, all because some media owners allow anything to be on their screen. The moral center on the nation cannot hold. This is a time. In fact, we have no time to waste. No luxury of time. We need to move with the speed of light.
Okay, please tell the minister.
Yeah.
I'm certain that when
I think he's going to do it. He was forthright on that. He said yesterday there are over 700 radio stations, over 120 television stations, and he has clear roadmap to sanitize the space. I only hope my big brother Kojo will not be holding his balls for censorship. When the time comes,
morning television.
In quote. When some judge starts about media content and some of these things, some of Kojo, I know, will now be holding him for censoring the media.
I am known to support.
Okay, let's use the last few minutes to talk about the global info analytics, the findings. It says that Bawumia and Haruna lead the NDC race and as well the NPP race. So for you, the NDC, many have said that this is coming quite too early, but of course it's something that's in the offing. It will definitely come.
Yeah,
so
it's very early, you know.
But early signs do matter.
Our constitution.
This is like pregnancy.
This conversation will be on the table in 2027 when we are in government.
I agree. You're going to give birth in 2027. But if you have done the thing that will make you get pregnant, we might as well just start taking the test now.
Let me tell you clearly.
Go for antenatal.
Let me tell you clearly.
Let's go for antenatal.
Let me tell you clearly.
Yes.
For us in NDC, 2028 elections, it's not going to depend on individual candidates. It is going to depend mostly on the performance of this government.
Will it?
If His Excellency, let me tell you, if this government performs so well, we're able to deal with the galamsey menace, we're able to turn the economy around, we create jobs for the youth, whoever we elect in 2028 will be able to win.
You're sure about
if we are not able to deal with these challenges, no matter who we elect, we will have challenges. So the focus now,
but are you surprised? Are you surprised?
The focus now.
While I agree with you, are you surprised at who the global info analytics is put into the fore?
MFA, let me tell you, we have a good number of people who can, in fact, more than 200. We can line them, and each and every one is capable of succeeding His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the names that are coming up. They are people who have served this country with humility, integrity, and commitment over the years. And I'm not surprised.
Then let's go to the party that is fighting there then.
So for us, our focus now, get the job done. In 2027, whoever we elect, if the economy is in shape, galamsey has been dealt with, youth employment has come down drastically. Our candidate.
So we should discard this. We should discard this.
Whoever this is also
it's important, but let me. I will place if I'm.
So the performance of the government.
The performance of the government it will take over 70% because it doesn't matter if you elect even an angel and the government has not performed. It will be very, very difficult.
I think the two should go in tandem.
In tandem, but
the quality of the candidates and the performance of government. But
the performance will take over 60 for me.
I'm enjoying this.
Okay, Kojo.
It will take over 60.
Okay, I think your point
over
is quite clear. Let me go to Kojo.
I agree.
Let me go to Kojo.
The two will go in tandem.
Well.
Yeah.
But if we don't
but your
perform,
point is quite clear.
Whoever is going to be difficult. If we perform, it becomes easier for
my sister.
is elected.
Let me say this, and I will say I'm smiling. They are in the early stage, and they had yet to take the pregnancy test. We are in the final stage of the trimester.
So you are coming
we'll deliver until January.
You've already delivered.
January.
You know
January 31st, we'll deliver. And inshallah, my brother, if you are watching, good morning, Dr. Bawumia will be the winner of that election. But look, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. As we speak, he's in the central region trying to campaign feverishly to let the people get his message. But the most important thing that the NDC should know is that I have always said that, look, in 2007, we had 17 people contesting. NDC will probably have 24 because it's the first time that NDC is going to go to a proper democratic election in the intra-party. In their party, this is the first time. If you look at how they've always gotten leaders, right? He has been Jerry ordained Professor Mills. Professor Mills, now his demise, unfortunately, may God rest his soul.
Anointed Mahama.
And in a way, Mahama became president, and Mahama was sort of anointed in quotes, without a proper contest within the intra-party.
Are you suggesting in 2015?
No, let me finish. Let me finish. Now, Mahama was now comparatively. Mahama was now the leading candidate who has been president. A lot of people liked him, so he was the front runner that came into. This is the first time the sitting president.
I disagree.
Oh, my brother, you might disagree. The viewers, I'm talking to the viewers.
What
so
you did in 2023
my
will rather qualify.
That's fine.
For that, because
we are talking about MP.
Virtually, Dr. Bawumia was handpicked by Nana.
We're talking about reality. We are talking about NDC. In reality, as my brother agrees, this is the first time that the sitting president is leaving. The sitting president does not have a control over the party the way Jerry John had. And that's the reality.
Yeah.
He is going to now say that I'm leaving, I'm not going again, so everybody can throw their hat into the game. This is the first time the sitting chairman of the party is doing a thank you tour announcing his intention to run. And
I don't think. Let's be clear. Let's be very clear.
Okay,
stakeholders are calling.
Okay, so let me. He's going.
No, but he hasn't announced.
A thank you.
No, but just made the clarification. I've made the clarification.
He's doing a thank you. I will draw. He's doing a thank you tour.
Johnson has indicated his intention of running for the
presidency. So let me withdraw. No, let me even withdraw. He's doing a thank you tour where people are calling him to run. In this instance, what I'm saying is that it's going to be an interesting fight. But whilst they disintegrate and dismantle and create craters in their party, we would have delivered on the January 31st. Inshallah, Dr. Bawumia will be the flag bearer, and we would have put our policy on course whilst we watch.
You have popcorn in your hands.
Oh, my sister, we have our popcorn and watch them gracefully.
Okay.
But you probably doesn't know how we handle our internal problems.
We will look forward to that.
But over and over.
You have never.
Okay. Thank you so much. Kojo, maybe another time
they're not the same.
Yes, the way we handle our internal issues. It will shock you.
These are two different parties, right? So I do not expect you to do things the same. But gentlemen, thank you so much. Kojo, this is definitely a brewing conversation, especially about this report and all. The next time, maybe when you come, you will go into forest losses and trade losses particularly, so that viewers will get to understand why you cited that one.
Yes, from the Bank of Ghana. Yeah, definitely.
But this is how we wrap up news review for today. There's more on the show. Please stay. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Today, Kojo has been unusually brutish.
Kojo? Kojo?
I mean, that was, yeah.
Has he? Well, please stay with us. Welcome back to the show. This is the AM show. Now on to big stories. Now, from seizing of excavators to burning and imprisonment, from calls to repeal LI 2462 to implementation of the state of emergency, government is set to hold an engagement with the CSOs come Friday on illegal mining Albatross. This morning, we engaged the Minerals Commission on what more they can do beyond the licensing regime in a fight that seems to have no end in sight. And joining me this morning is Ernest Anyimah, Deputy CEO, Minerals Commission. He prefers to be called Elembele KK, of course, because that's how people know him. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. So this government has constantly described the mining sector as a lifeline of millions of Ghanaians. The fight so far, from where you sit at the Minerals Commission, the fight so far against illegal mining, before we even go into the mining sector proper, the fight against it, how is it coming up for you?
MFR, good morning to you, to your viewers, to everyone, to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, President Mahama, to our Minister, Honorable Imano Makofibwa, and to the good people of Elembele. MFR, sometimes when we talk about the fight against illegal mining, we should look back and see what has happened previously. And you know that this is a government that we've been in power for basically 8 months. So let's look at the past 8 years, what has happened. So we can't just throw it under the bus and say we are not able to fight the illegal mining. Under the last government, President Akufo-Addo's government, illegal mining became free for all basically in 2024. You know, at a point they stopped the fight. Those who are trying to fight the galamsey. They were fighting them back. They were prosecuting people. They were jailing people. You remember the harp guys and all those things. So they were not interested in the fight against illegal mining. So it became very disturbing and alarming. Ghanaians gave opportunity to His Excellency the President to bring back our water and to bring back our environment. If you look at the past 8 months, if you look at the initiatives we put in place, the aggressiveness of our minister to make sure that we stop the bleeding, you realize that the political will and the commitment to fight this illegal mining we have never seen before in our history, especially looking at the time frame. This is basically 8 months of a government, and look at the initiatives we've put in place to stop this bleeding. Then it means this government needs to be recommended for the fight, and we should all support the government.
Let's actually even situate this conversation a lot better and reiterate the core mandate of the Minerals Commission. If a person just got up today and they wanted to know exactly the role of the Minerals Commission per the Act, what's your core mandate?
Okay. Minerals Commission, basically, we are the regulator of the mining industry in Ghana. And MFA, mining is our DNA in Ghana. Mining is our DNA in Ghana. And if we decide to stop mining today, this country is going to die. This country is going to be on its knees. And we can trace it back from history, why the British guys called this country Gold Coast. And if I'm not mistaken, MFA, once we hit you are using what, iPhone? You try to hit your iPhone on the ground here, you'll be surprised that you see gold.
I should then.
Yes, you'll be surprised. I mean, viewers can try it in their homes. Just do some prospecting in wherever you are, and you realize that you can find some deposit of gold in your homes. What I'm trying to say is that everywhere you pass in Ghana, we have gold. So we were not called Gold Coast for nothing. We were called Gold Coast because we are blessed with natural resources. Remember, we have 16 regions in Ghana, and out of the 16, 13 regions mine gold in Ghana, and basically not gold. I mean, Minerals Commission, we don't look at only gold. We also look at we regulate the industrial mineral sector, what we also call the developmental minerals. These are the minerals that we regulate. So you can have minerals like manganese in Ghana. You can have minerals like salt. You can have minerals like clay. You can sand, quarry, limestone, diamond, festa, lithium recently. That's what we call the batteries minerals. So these are minerals that Minerals Commission we regulate in Ghana. And basically we don't give. This is the trick. I mean, we've been befelt with. Everybody is saying that illegal mining, but Minerals Commission, we don't issue licenses that are illegal. We issue licenses that we mandate people to go and mine within a geofencing area. So assuming this is the studio, this is your area you want to mine. When you come to Minerals Commission, we will give this area, register this area, give you permits to mine within this studio. Once you go outside the boundaries of this studio, what you are doing is illegal.
In the last 8 months, have you issued any form of licenses at all, from prospecting to concession, any type of the licenses at all?
As far as I know, this government, under this minister, we've not issued any license. The magic we have done is basically to revoke licenses that were not given or that were given without using the proper procedures. We have also initiated the process of revoking the LI that the previous governments passed those LI to mandate people, give people authority to enter into our forest. And MFA, we don't do small-scale mining in forest. We do large-scale mining. I mean, let me educate your viewers. When you come to the mining sector, we have 2 types of mining. We have the small-scale and we have the large-scale. So it's basically you go to the market where we trade, you have the ShopRite, you have the small people on their table doing some small trading on their table. We have people in the container. So these are type of trading. So when you come to the mining sector, we have the large scale and the small scale. The large scale is those guys who go into mining, you know, that's you spend so much millions of dollars. So if you see Newmont coming to Ghana, and then before, Newmont is one of the biggest mining company in the whole world, an American company. For American to come to Ghana and invest over 1 billion in Ghana, then it tells you that we have good resources here. We have Sinjin Mining here. It's another big mining company. We have Goldfields, Anglo Gold. These are all large-scale mining companies. But the gold is for Ghana and is vested in the president. And we are citizens of Ghana. So I come from Elembele and I want to mine. I should be given the right to also mine. I should be given the opportunity to mine. So Minerals Commission said, then let's divide the mining into two and also do the small scale. So with the small scale, you need only 25 acres. That's 12 blocks to mine small scale. You don't need so much money. Minerals Commission, we've tried to block out areas for small scale miners. So we are doing so many things. And let me try to interest you to know that under this government, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, that's my Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Makofibua, partnership with the CEO of Gold Board, has secured money to help Minerals Commission to do what we call prospecting or exploration.
Yourself?
Yeah, Minerals Commission will be doing
by
it.
itself will be prospecting.
We will be prospecting.
Would you still be issuing prospecting licenses to?
Basically, the prospecting is for the small scale miners. When you are going into small scale, you don't need a prospecting license.
Okay.
It's the large scale that you need what we call, before you do the, you come into mining, you need the recognizance license. That is basically you go to this field. It's like you just go and look, do visual inspection. Then after some few months and you assess the topography of the area, then you come for what we call the prospecting license. The prospecting license gives you the opportunity to do the auger drill. Then after the auger drill, you do your trenching. Then after your trenching, you do your drilling. Then the drilling will direct you as to how much resources is beneath the surface of the earth. That is the gold. So once you estimate your resources and you realize that you have over 10 million ounces of gold down there, then everybody, it means there is a party.
So if I understand, the commission itself, will they now be prospecting? Is this what this is?
Yes, because MFA, when you walk to Minerals Commission and you want to mine, I don't think you have the capacity to invest over $500 million into prospecting. You don't have that capacity. Okay. But you are a citizen of Ghana. You need to mine. The gold is for you. It's for all of us. It's for everyone. So basically what we have done is that we have blocked out area, and Gold Board needs the gold as well. And the gold must be traceable from the source to where the to Gold Board. So it means Gold Board must also invest in the fight against illegal mining. They've secured money. They are coming to give to Minerals Commission to do exploration, and with the help of Ghana Geological Survey, we are going to do those exploration. Once we do those exploration or we do those prospecting, then it means that when you come to Minerals Commission, there is a data sitting down.
That you just point that
exactly that this is where you are going to mine. In that vein, Ghanaians will not be interested in mining in the water bodies.
Okay, so with all of these new reforms, which we're going to be going into the reforms, you have to, the Minerals Commissions Act as it is, I see that you're introducing some reforms into this. This will be included, or this has already started?
Yeah, we are trying to review the new Mining Act, Act 703.
Yeah.
The Mining Policy Act 2014, we want to review it. As part of the review, which we are almost done with it, we are waiting for Parliament to convey. And once Parliament convey, we'll send the minister will send the bill to Parliament for that bill to be reviewed. And once it's reviewed, there are so many things. We've engaged so many stakeholders from Asante Hene to mention anyone in Ghana. I mean, we've engaged the media, yourself, everyone, because we need to make sure that we benefit from the mining, that with the gold that is mined in Ghana. So we want to introduce what we call also the medium scale. You know, we have the large scale. We should have a medium scale, and we should have small scale, so that we scale it up, and the capacity that you have in terms of mining. I mean, the act is very holistic, and Ghana is going to benefit from
this
because
new
of the
introduction, medium scale. So after you have done the exploration, both the small scale and the medium scale can now come to you, or it will just be exclusively for the small scale miners?
Basically for the small scale miners, because a medium scale, it means that you have the capacity to do some prospecting. But the small scale is basically for my people in Elembele, who they live in Nkrofo, Anya, Saloma, and those environs. And Adamos is the large scale mining concessionaire. So Adamos has acquired most of the mining concessions in Elembele. So when you come to my community, the people want a place to mine because they were born there. They need to find something to do. So what the minister has done is that he has been able to lobby some of the large-scale mining companies like Adamos to cede some of their concessions for the community. And that is why we introduced what we call the Responsible Cooperative Mining Scheme Skills Development. Oh, it's going well. I want to thank my brother, Engineer Pedro Asare. He has been touring the country trying to engage the large-scale miners so that we can get some concessions for our people, so we can kickstart the cooperative mining, because it's one of the initiatives that when we start, it will eliminate people from going into the river bodies. Because I mean, MFI, when we were young, we used to drink water from ordinary pipe. We used to drink water from the ordinary street. But today, if it is not bottled, I don't think you will drink those water, and it's worrying. And I'm saying that those who mine in our river bodies, excuse me to use the word, they are not doing the right mining, and they are Ghanaians and they need to feed. But what we intend to do is that we want to protect our environment, we want to protect our water bodies. The minister is talking with having conversations with the large scale. So the last time we launched the cooperative mining in Elembele, that's about 3 weeks ago, thanks to the minister and Engineer Pedro Asare, who is the coordinator for the cooperative mining, that's the COMSDEP, and we've been able to secure a pit for the people in Elembele.
Break down the responsible cooperative mining. Break it down in a very simple term. Okay. If I show up in a community where they engage in this particular policy, how would I know? How would I see it? Okay, so what form and shape is it taking? So the cooperative mining is basically mining that we want the community to own the mine. The mine is for the community. And owning a mine means what? Owning a mine means you can't move from Elembele or you move from Savannah to come to Minerals Commission in Accra looking for license. So we are taking the license regime to the district offices, where those who will be responsible for the license of the cooperative mining will be a committee. The committee will consist of the chief in the area. The committee will consist of the community leader of the youth association in the area. The committee will consist of a Minerals Commission rep on the committee, Water Resources rep on the committee, EPA rep on the committee, the police commander rep on the committee, and CONSDEP rep on the committee. The committee is responsible to make sure that they are going to protect the environment for us, because once we give you the mandate to license these cooperatives to mine, then it means that you have the responsibility to also monitor them, evaluate them, and make sure they do the right thing, so that the minister can have peace of mind to concentrate on how we can generate more revenue from the gold that we are mining and make sure that the space is clean. Does this fall under the decentralization approach of the Mining Commission, which you're introducing? Yes. Or it's separate? It falls under the minister's vision to make sure that licenses are issued at the basic level, where we take the licensing to the people, so that the people, so what we have started to do now is to start, getting offices at districts where we have mining activities taking place. So in Elembele, we intend to start a district office. We intend to have another district office in Amefi Central. We intend to have district office in other mining areas that mining is taking place. So it's part of the vision of His Excellency the President to make sure that mining, we mine responsibly, and licensing is taken to our local people. So you don't sit in Minerals Commission office here in Accra, issue licenses where you don't even know Dan Cobra, where to pass through to Elembele. You don't even have any idea. And we issue license to a company to go and secure all the land in Elembele, and the people of Elembele cannot mine. But when we have that district office there,
mining will start from the district office and recommendations will be made appropriately to the minister for the minister to have fair idea of what is happening.
In terms of royalties, for this particular decentralized, the cooperative mining system, in terms of royalties, will it still be maintained at what we have in the Act, or you're still going to be adjusting it?
There have been some adjustment in terms of royalties because of the new Mining Act that we are bringing. And we don't want the mining companies to take decision as to what corporate social responsibility they should be doing. Now it is the people that will tell them we need mining hospital, we need this, we need that, we need that. And it's part of the review processes. So now the community or the district is going to own what they want in terms of their needs, their livelihood. So it's part of the royalties that we've engaged with the community and the chiefs are very, very happy with these initiatives because they are going to now own the royalties in terms of development, in terms of everything. Now it's a discretion to the mining companies as to whether or not they want to do road, they want to build school, you cannot hold them to any liability. But now you can hold them to any liable, or they can't justify it because the Act is strict censor on it.
Okay. If you look at the Act, it suggests to me, or it looks to me as though it gives quite some indirect power to the minister. So you serve as an advisory body to the minister, right?
Yeah, we serve as an advisory body.
So, for example, issuing of licenses and revoking of it. Mm-hmm. Currently, walk me through how a person can acquire a form of license, because I see that it goes all the way and it still comes back to the minister.
Yeah.
Does this give the commission the full power to operate in terms of licenses? And are you looking at reforming that part of the Act as well?
Our constitution is clear that all minerals beneath the surface of the earth is vested in the president. So it means that the president is holding it in trust for the good people of Ghana. And it's that same power that the president have exercised some of his powers to the minister on our behalf. So the minister is acting as an agent to the president. So basically, because the constitution is clear, it is the minister who must issue those licenses on behalf of the state. Minerals Commission, we give recommendation. We start the licensing process. We help you to register, take you through all the procedure in terms of the requirements you need, the technicalities of why you need this license, why we need to protect our environment, why you need to be within this geofencing. Now we've introduced what we call the tracking system. So even as you are registering, the excavator you want to use, you register it in your name. We geofence the excavator with your name. And previously, excavators are not registered in Ghana. So once they bring in an excavator, you don't even know the owner. Now we know the real owner, the importer, the person who has exported more than $80,000 worth of excavator. We will know the rightful owner because we track the excavator from the port. Before you even bring the excavator out of the port, the minister must make sure that you have all the documentation, you are the rightful owner. So now the process is very complex, very rigorous. We are trying as much as possible to limit the distraction. So these are processes that Minerals Commission, so these are more technical.
Have you had a situation where, you've been in that position the last 8 months, but have you had a situation where you have recommended to the minister, and I hope that you're honest with me with this answer.
Yeah.
Have you had a situation where you have recommended to the minister that, no, for this person, we're not going to issue a license, and because the power nearly resides in him, he still has to proceed to want to say that, of course, you should issue the license?
MFA, as part of the restructuring of our mining sector, we need to restructure it very well so that the distraction we are seeing here will be mitigated and we will have clean water to drink. We can't be issuing licensing to people to go and mine irresponsibly. We've issued licensing previously to so many people, over 2,000 licensing. And most of the people are perpetuating in illegality. So what the minister is trying to do is to do auditing of the licensing, and we've revoked.
How many have you revoked so far?
The records I have here, MFI, I have let me see. So far, I'll check.
So the previous government issued about 2,000.
Yes.
Up until the time that they were out of power, and so out of this 2,000, while we find
we revoke about 50. Okay, we revoke about 55 small-scale licenses has been revoked.
Okay.
And over additional 900 licenses face revocation, which the minister has made it clear. He did a press conference on it. So 55 licenses of small scale that has been revoked, and over 900 that are facing revocation. We are going through the processes. So what we are trying to basically do is that once we are able to clean up the system, then we can correct the wrongs that happened previously, because basically that is what we are in for. We are in to correct the wrongs. Ghanaians voted for us to correct the wrongs, and that is what the minister is mandated to do.
I appreciate that. While I appreciate that, I'm just thinking, this means that the Minerals Commission, how are you able to implement your roles without any distractions from the minister? I'm not talking about your current minister, but if you look at the structure, would you rather have the power entirely residing in your hands as the commission?
Oh, I mean,
where the minister would rather advise, because then it becomes an individual.
No, the constitution is clear, so we can't do any ultra virus to the constitution. The constitution is clear.
The constitution says
Minerals Commission is a regulatory authority. We give recommendation. We recommend to the minister. It is the minister who has the power to exercise that discretion.
Imagine your recommendation is not taken.
That is up to the minister. It is the minister who has the power to issue license. So that is a discretion. What
would you rather have? And I'm asking this question because you are amending the act, right?
Yeah.
To at least create some effectiveness and efficiency. Yeah. As it is now, is it functionable for you, or you'd rather amend that part slightly?
In terms of what?
Where the finality, the beginning and the end rests with a commission.
I mean, this is constitutional description, so you can't do anything about it. It's clear. I think Article 257 says it's clear on the constitution that the president is holding the minerals.
That's not in doubt. That's not in doubt. My question is the licensing of it.
I'm saying
in the act.
It is the president. It is the president who is holding it in trust on behalf of the people.
Absolutely.
So when you work as a minister to the president has given you an authority to do that act on his behalf. So Minerals Commission cannot do that act. The constitution is clear, and it's a design of the framers of the constitution are wise. They know what is good for the state. So the president is holding it in trust for the good people of Ghana. So I mean, and the president exercised that trust to make sure that he protects us, because the president will swear an oath that he wants to protect the citizens of Ghana and make sure he protects every asset and liability or whatever on behalf of the people. So it is clear. That is why I'm saying the vision of His Excellency President Mahama within these 8 years, MFA, we need to applaud the president for the bold decision he has taken to make our river bodies a no-go area, to make the forest a no-go area. We need to applaud His Excellency the President for this bold decision. Last week we were in Sunyane to commission the NIMOS, the Anti-Illegal Mining Secretariat, that is coordinated, that has been mandated to coordinate all these illegal activities, consisting of the police, the BNI, the national security, all the security agencies come under one umbrella, and their mandate led by the Director of Operation, Ken Oboa, who is doing a fantastic job, decided to do some training, because now they are going to be permanently stationed on our river bodies and the forest. And MFA, we've reclaimed forests that people cannot even enter. Over nine forests that were red zone area we cannot enter. This government has been able to reclaim within 8 months. You remember this area, this community, Abrewa in crime. I mean, you showed it on your station, and you realize the number of illegalities happening within that forest. 8 years, a government decided not to look at that place, and we were faced with this manners of illegalities. But within 8 months, the minister and the government has made sure that this Abrewa crime community is no more. And you see, one of the problems too is that When I came to the Minerals Commission as part of roaming around this country to know what is happening, when you come to Elembele, most of the illegal mining and activities that is happening are not the local people, are not the indigenes. These are foreigners.
Are they?
Yes, most of them are foreigners.
But how do the foreigners start to mine without the help of the indigenes?
I mean, that is another conversation we need to have. And it is the reason why we want to correct all these wrongs, where in terms of licensing, in terms of the cooperative mining, in terms of why we want to protect our forests, in terms of bringing the community, the local people, in terms of licensing, in terms of monitoring. So these are holistic things we want to do. And like I'm saying, it is the responsibility of the commission to be the backbone of the minister. We are like the spinal cord of the minister. Once we break, the minister will fall down. So we want to make sure that we give him vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. The vitamins that will hold the minister. What are the vitamins? The vitamins are that we want to decentralize mining leases. We want to make sure that we geofence the area. Now, when you come to Minerals Commission, we have a control room, and I'll invite you to come to our control room. We don't sleep. 24 hours, we are monitoring activities of mining in Ghana, especially with excavators, dozers, trucks, exploration trucks, and all those things. Explosive trucks, sorry. So we have young men, women, after school, sitting behind big screens like your studio here, monitoring every excavator. Drones are flying. We are monitoring.
For the ones that have gone through proper licenses.
Proper licenses. So I'm saying that we are trying to make sure we correct the wrongs. And that is what we are doing. So we need to applaud this government. We need to applaud the minister. The energy he has put in to make sure that this fight become a thing of the past. He was on the, I was with him when we traveled on the Cobra. And I mean, it is the reason why he said, no, this bleeding must stop.
Okay, let's take a few of the reforms. And I'm back, before we even get to some of the reforms, in just my thinking, as you have said, the Constitution allows, it provides that our minerals is held in trust by the president. And this same president, if you look at the LI 2462, right? Yeah. It's not that it says you can get up and go and mine. It says that the president can allow some mining in the forest reserve. And you're repealing that LI. And we still recognize that he is the president and he takes decision to our benefits, right? But you're repealing that LI. In just my thinking, if power is very centralized in an individual as compared to being centralized with an institution like a commission, with the same principle as you're repealing this LI, you say that that is a constitutional provision. Yeah. But have you, outside of it, if you were not part of this government, outside of it, would you rather the power of license at the beginning and the end rest with a commission? Because at least the steps will be so much than an individual who can decide that, well...
Then I think we need to amend the Constitution, if that is what you are calling for.
I'm asking, if an individual has the power...
the power to issue mining lease is vested in the president, and the minister exercises that on behalf of the president. So if you want to take that power...
Does the Constitution say that the minister exercises?
No, I'm saying the president is holding it in trust for the good people of Ghana. It's vested in the president. So once a president appoints you, he has given you an authority. Do you understand? He has dedicated his power to you to exercise those powers on his behalf.
Okay.
You are saying that we should take that powers from him.
I'm asking, let me put clarity to the question.
Yeah, maybe I want to understand your question.
If the power, the beginning and the end of licensing or issuing licensing rest with the minister as compared to resting with a commission, which one, you've worked with the commission for a while, which one do you think makes it more easy to regulate?
It is not what I think. It is what the Constitution has described.
Let's get into the
reforms.
If we want to do... I thought you were on ground and then you have experimented the two. I mean, because we've had ministers, then yet we have had about 2,000.
Before the Constitution in 24 and Attorney General decision, they describe the Constitution as a living organism that it needs to grow and must bear the spirit of the people. And I'm saying that, yes, if it's a living organism, and today we sit back and we say, no, if we want to do some amendments, yes, that's a conversation we can begin to have.
Let's get into some of the proposed, your proposals, right? So you said that one of the things is to actually reduce the tenure of prospecting licenses as opposed to it being held in perpetuity.
What?
So that the prospecting licenses currently, when it is issued, the person holds it, keeps it forever?
No.
Okay.
No, now the new reforms, the prospecting licenses for large-scale miners, basically we are looking at 7 to 8 years because and when you go to other countries, it is 10, some are 15 years. But the new reforms, we don't want you to have a prospecting license where people take prospecting licenses and basically do nothing. And meanwhile, people are also looking for places to mine. So when you take prospecting license for the next 5 to 8 years, if you don't do anything on the prospecting, we will revoke your prospecting license. After prospecting, you come for what we call the mining lease. Right. So the mining lease now gives you now the power to now go into proper setting up a mine site. Then you start your mining. So the new review of the Mining Act, we used to give mining lease for large scale for 30 years. Now we reduce it to 15 years.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, the Ghana Chamber of Mines are not happy with that, but the goal is for us. We can't sit down for... Now, I mean, what will also interest you to know is that when you go to most of this large-scale mining, because of the local content, the managing director is a Ghanaian, the engineers are Ghanaians. Everyone you go there, excavator operator, all the operators, I mean, all the top position are Ghanaians. So if Ghanaians can manage a mine site, what is so difficult for Ghana to own a mine site? That is why, in the vision of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, decided that the Damang Goldfields will not renew the mining lease of Goldfields again. Ghana will take it, and for the first time, we should applaud the president for owning a mine that is worth over $7 billion for the state, and is going to be for the state, and that is a positive direction within eight months of a government. So it tells you that the president has vision, the reset agenda, he wants to reset this country. We need to support him. And like he said, like the minister also said, the fight against illegal mining is not an event. MFA is a process. And these are the steps, these are the process, the Blue Water Guard initiative, the NIMOS, the cooperative mining, the tracking of the excavators, and all these initiatives we are bringing on board. These are the processes to make sure that we mitigate the devastation and destruction of our environment.
I like how you have landed. You have just introduced us to a very important part of the conversation, land reclamation.
Yeah.
How is it going so far? How much of the land have we reclaimed so far?
So basically what we are doing is that as part of the new act that we are bringing, reclamation becomes a cardinal sin. If you decide to mine and you don't reclaim the land, you don't only go scot-free, we'll prosecute you.
Okay.
Now, if they don't do reclamation, it is government that must look for money and come and reclaim the money. So imagine MFA comes and we give him concession to go and mine. After taking all your money away, you leave the place destroyed, calling on government to come and cover the site or plant trees for you. Now we say no. If you come as part of the licensing regime, you have to make sure that there are processes where you need to reclaim the land. And if you don't reclaim the land, because we know you, we have geofence you, we know who you are, we will come after you and prosecute you.
This will find expression in the new act.
Yes,
but currently
it's like discretion. Have
you reclaimed any land as a government?
Currently, no. We are on the. That's why we the concept. We have structured the concept so that they will be doing some reclamation and the responsible cooperative mining skills development. So that is basically they are going to look at reclamation as a whole, and because of the destruction of the environment, we are trying to look for budget. So probably from next year, we will be doing a lot of reclamation. We'll be doing a lot of. Last we launched the planting for trees. I think some 3-4 months ago from the forestry.
And it's all part of the reclamation.
It's part of the reclamation process.
So far in 9 months, you cannot boast of a reclaimed area at all.
How many years did you take to build your house? Where do you live? East Legon, Adenta, or Ajigano?
I asked the questions.
No, I'm asking you.
I asked the questions, but
you saw your mother and father building their house. How many years did they take to build that house?
Well, that's my parents. They're not government.
So it's brick and mortar. So reclamation is not an event where you go and bread and butter, you just paste in it. It's a process. So we've started some reclamation because I cannot give you a figure because we've not completed it, and it's with the.
But in the areas that you have started the process, I just want to.
That's what I'm saying. That with the trees for life, we have started planting the trees. The vision is that once we plant the trees, we start the reclamation. We begin to bring back the trees to life. So it's a process. That's what I'm saying. So we don't need to rush ourselves in the process. We need to protect. And Ghanaians gave us 4 years mandates. Be so.
But that's the thing, though. I've always said that 4 years mandates, but we drink water today.
So that's what
you see, because it's quite existential. That's why we're quite passionate.
That's why the president. That's why the president in his vision has directed the minister that we make our river bodies a red zone or military zone area, no-go area. One.
Has that started?
Next week we'll start the deployment. I said last week we went to commission the military team, the NIMOS team for this job, and from next week you will see the deployment, and they are going to be permanently stationed along our river bodies, permanently stationed within our forests. Whilst they are there, those people who believe that they are going mad by going into the river bodies to go and put their chamfan there and destroy the water because they want their gold. Now we are telling them that that place is like a Burma camp. If you don't want any trouble, please stay away from entering there. Have you been to Burma camp before? When you are entering the Burma camp, you see the military guys there.
Yes, they do.
And you see the only thing they do is that they don't talk. They do that. They look at their action.
Pass, or stop. That's
so if you decide not to stop and move, you know what they will do to you.
So I see that some days, pretty soon, there's going to be a stakeholder engagement with the CSOs, and it will be about mining. I see the president issued that directive that you're going to have some engagement, a frank conversation to find some solution to the illegal mining menace. The CSOs have asked for so many things. At least you have indicated that the LI, you're in preparation to revoke it. Other things, state of emergency and all of that. This frank conversation, what does it seek to cure? What does it seek to achieve?
Like I said, this is a president who wants to reset the country, and he believes that everyone must come on board. He believes in inclusiveness. He believes that, and he has done this. He has engaged CSOs. He has engaged the media. Since the minister came, he has engaged, everyone in Ghana concerning how we are going to fight this illegality and how to make sure that we get clean environment. So, like I said, as part of the process to make sure that we attain the Blue Water Initiative we are all looking for, this engagement is very, very important. But Mbefa, I can't live here without giving you a data on the achievement of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Kofi-Boa. You know the NTU level, that the turbidity level of our water. Most of this water, the turbidity levels are coming down. I can give you an example. You know, the Ghana Water Resource Commission gives data from February. They give two data, February and July. February is the dry season. July is the wet season. River Densu in Manguase, the turbidity level for July 2024 was 256. Today, as we are speaking, because of the initiative of the Blue Water, the initiatives of the cooperative mining and all those things, the aggressiveness of how we are trying to protect our water.
It's now to what?
It has reduced this July 2025 from 256 to 44 NTU levels.
44. So why is the Kwenyaku one still? Are you not using the same method? Or you have the data? It will be nice to hear.
River Densu at Insawum, July 2024 was 59. Today, it is 19.1.
We're happy about
River
that.
Ankobra in Dominasi, July 2024, the NTU level was 3,720. Today, July 2025, the level has reduced to 2,920. River Tano in Elubo, July 2024, the NTU level was 1,100. Today, it is 830.
So they do.
River Tano in Seshi, July 2024, it was 12.3 NTU level. Today, it has reduced to 9.5.
So they use how many quarterly reports?
I am saying they give us reports in February and July.
Okay. So for the Kwenyaku one, we'll get the results in December.
Probably after they give us, they measure the MTU level,
The MTU level is very bad now.
I agree. That is why I'm saying that it's a process. So we need to applaud His Excellency the President and the sector minister for this aggressiveness in fighting this illegality. And we are going to stop bleeding. Trust me.
I see a sense of demand for applause. When the applause are in...
No, but you see, we need to tell our own story.
Well...
The propaganda...
Yeah, I'd give you some 30 seconds to wrap up.
No, I'm saying the propaganda and this thing about mining, as if mining is some evil act. I'm telling you, mining is the DNA of this country. And if we stop mining today, your wig, you cannot buy it. Your dress, you cannot buy it. Your iPhone, you cannot buy it. Why? Because today, you see the dollar smiling at you.
What about state of emergency?
I'm saying today, you see the dollar smiling at you because of mining, because of gold board.
State of emergency?
So I am saying that when we get to that level of state of emergency, it's like you have gone to the hospital and you are complaining of sasabro. And when you go, they say they will use knife to finish your sasabro. Meanwhile, chloroquine can resolve your sasabro. Do you prefer knife or you prefer chloroquine?
Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. There's more on the show. Thank you so much.
You are so happy, eh?
The Deputy CEO, Minerals Commission, first to be called Elembele KK. And I definitely know that you use knives for sasabro. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. You're watching the AM show. Time now to talk about the 2-Scale program. And joining me in studio and via Zoom as well this morning is Jalil Zakaria, Multi-Country Project Manager, SNV 2-Scale program. And also via Zoom is Sharif Gali, CEO of Ghana Chambers of Young Entrepreneurs. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. You, Sharif, via Zoom, and Zakaria, you as well, are in studio. First of all, let's understand what... I'll call you Jalil, all right?
Sure.
Okay. Let's understand what exactly the 2-Scale program is about.
So first of all, I'm sitting in for the program director, who, for some travel reasons, she's not been able to make it today. The 2-Scale program is funded by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and then implemented by a consortium of partners led by IFDC. The program basically is to incubate and accelerate inclusive business in agribusiness in Africa. And over the last 3 years, we've been promoting sustainable market systems for SMEs that are willing to engage people at the bottom of the pyramid. And by bottom of the pyramid, we meet people that are economically vulnerable. How do we connect them to sustainable market systems in a manner that they can become suppliers, producers, consumers, or distributors of products that are emanating from the market system? So we use the public-private partnership approach. We treat the Dutch-funded program funds as the public support and the private sector partnership as the private partnership that contributes to the sustainability of the partnership. So the SME becomes the anchor of the business where all other service-related mechanisms are applied. So you have an SME, say, somebody processing sorghum, that wants to work with smallholder farmers. The person decides that I am not going to work with large-scale farmers. My priority or my strategic focus is to work with smallholder farmers. So how do you connect these smallholder farmers to this market to the extent that they will not be calling external partners to look for market? So you connect these smallholder farmers to services like inputs, tractor services, and other service mechanisms that support these smallholder farmers to be able to meet the production specifications of the entity that you are working with. And we have done this across 14 African countries, spanning a period of 13 years.
Interesting.
Within Africa.
And particularly in Ghana, how has it been for you?
Yes, for Ghana, it's been one of our flagship programs. We have worked with about 5 partnerships in Ghana in the area of sorghum, poultry, soybean, maize, and then rice. So in all these partnerships, we have created what we call partnerships that are sustainable in the manner that smallholder farmers will not be calling probably a government appointee to be looking for a market for them. So when a farmer produces, say, sorghum, for instance, he knows where the sorghum is going to be sold. Before the farmer goes into production, they are well aware of the quality specifications that the producer or the buyer is looking for before they go into production. And then for these entities that we have worked with in Ghana, we have an average of 20,000 smallholder farmers connected to each of these markets that are producing sorghum, rice, poultry. The poultry is divided into two. We have one area that is looking at the broiler, and then another area that is looking at the feed.
Okay.
So the partner we are working with has...
When he said broiler, I quickly was going to layers, right?
So the maize that is produced has an already market.
Okay.
The broilers that are produced already also have a market. And in Ghana, we have connected, like I said, about 100,000 smallholder farmers spanning across these five partnerships. We also look at consumption. One of the key areas in the value chain, you've heard about the criticism about cocoa, where cocoa farmers produce cocoa and are not able to afford chocolate. But we have a mechanism what we call the bottom of the pyramid marketing that supports the entity that we work with to be able to produce chicken at an affordable rate, such that people who are producing the broilers are themselves consumers of the same broilers that they are producing.
Okay.
And that drives the inclusive bit of the business in which we are looking at.
This sounds like an exciting project, which I really don't want to end, but at least there's some hope in sight. And I'll tell you why we have to be engaging the CEO of Ghana Chambers of Young Entrepreneurs. Sheriff, it's good to see you this morning. I hope you're well. Tell me a little bit about the Chambers of Young Entrepreneurs, first of all. And a little later, we shall tell people why you matter in this conversation.
Thank you very much, MFA, and good to see you again. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Awesome. So, MFA, the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs is the official network of young entrepreneurs in Ghana with over 22,000 members across Ghana. Our work basically is to advocate for policies that would benefit young people doing business, and to also train young people, build their capacity in the business ecosystem to be able to sustain and scale their business. We also facilitate trade between young entrepreneurs here in Ghana and outside of Ghana as well. And then largely we do what we call research to understand market trends and allow young entrepreneurs in Ghana to be able to participate in the economic community. And so basically enhancing young people, promoting the businesses of young entrepreneurs to be able to sustain and be globally competitive. And we've been doing this for the past 9 years. And then we've been working with different kind of partners, even including Joy. Joy has been one of our key supporter when it comes to making sure our work is out there for policymakers to work with us and the rest. And we've worked largely with government. We work with SMV, where Jalil is coming from, GIZ, MasterCard, and a rest of a host of partners. And basically, anything that has to do with getting young people to do sustainable business, that is what we stand for.
That's good to know. And how have you been connected to the Two-Scale program?
So for the Two-Scale program, we have been part of it in different spaces. Like Jalil rightly said, inclusive business, agribusiness is for me, I always say that it's supposed to be a deal for everybody, especially given Ghana's economic strength as a growing economy. And for us as a chamber, we have been actively participating in knowledge exchange workshops. When we partnered with the Two-Scale team, we saw that there had been some knowledge exchange where the Two-Scale was actually trying to give us what they have experience in implementing their program for that long period of time. And so we participated in some of these workshops. And then we also benefited from training on inclusive agribusiness models and facilitation tools. So as I speak to you now, the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs is well equipped to take over whatever the Two-Scale project was doing. That is training business people on inclusive agribusiness, and also training people to train business persons who want to become inclusive agribusiness. And also we also engage in the peer learning from other African countries. We just returned from Abidjan, in Ivory Coast, where we met other country reps that has implemented Two-Scale. And it was amazing because we learned about how Nigeria is doing something a bit more different, how Ghana was also doing very well. And so some of these things have really built our capacity to take on this very good project that the Two-Scale project has actually been able to come out with. So this is how we have been involved in the Two-Scale project.
Okay, that's amazing. So back in the studio, tell me, would you say that the poultry project that you just told me about is one of the footprints in Ghana, or there are many other footprints?
So there are other many footprints that we have in Ghana, especially in the sorghum sector, where the market that we work with is connected with Guinness Ghana. So like I mentioned earlier, you don't have a problem of a farmer producing and saying that I don't have market. So that's one of the biggest footprints that we are leaving behind. We have that sorghum that has been transformed into a sorghum-based product that is fortified for nutrition basically at the household level. So you don't have the farmer only producing, but has an opportunity to turn these products around to be able to consume it themselves within their household to improve upon their nutrition. We also have a case in the rice partnership, where their challenge when we met them was targeting the school feeding program. And we all understand how sometimes payment for this school feeding program can be a bit problematic. How do we now support you to diversify your market into the open market? And one of the business ideas that we came up was to see how we can support them with marketing interventions for them to shift away from over-reliance on the Ghana school feeding program into the open market, where they can be able to become sustainable in a manner that the farmers that are connected to them are not left hanging in the absence of the school feeding market. Okay. We also have a similar project of that nature with a soybean partnership that connects with smallholder farmers in the soybean sector to make sure that the poultry feed millers, especially those that process soya oil, are able to connect or have a sustainable supply of raw material and able to supply this soybean. And we do that in a number of models, what we call the supply chain coordination model. To what extent can you support a farmer and the farmer in turn becomes loyal to you? How do you organize your raw material base in a manner that they produce the quality that you are looking for? In all of this, we also target the young people and then women to be an inclusive part of the value chain in which we have developed so far.
I have an idea why the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs are on board. So now that this project or program is coming to a close in Ghana, what does it mean for us Ghanaians specifically? In principle, we wouldn't say we are closing. The Dutch funding part of it is closing. Okay. But we have an opportunity to engage national actors to be trailblazers of the legacy we are leaving behind. And then we are leaving behind a curated model of partnership building, of agribusiness development, and how to even facilitate partnership. And that is the facilitation role we are handing over to the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs to be trailblazers in Ghana as far as inclusive agribusiness is concerned. That's amazing. Sharif, so the ball has just been neatly rolled over into your court. What are you going to be doing with it? What role are you going to be playing?
So, Emefa, we wouldn't be able to play any successful role without you, the media. So you are part of it. So it's not only for the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, but like Jelly said, the component of the Dutch funding is ended, but the whole project and the whole approach of two-scale is not ending. If you look at the two-scale project, like he rightly enumerated, it's something that is very practical. That is not just supporting business, but being part of the business success. And for me, as a leader that I've been leading business for some time now, the whole approach was something I really appreciated. And for us, we are taking the lead to ensure that we are cascading this knowledge exchange learnings across Ghana. Okay. That's one thing. We'll make sure that every actor, every partner, even you, the media, understand what inclusive agribusiness is and how we can ensure that all of these learnings, all of these good things that the two-scale project have achieved, we're able to carry it on. We also facilitate partnership between these farmers, businesses, and service providers. So we continue that partnership chain where businesses are not just working in silos, they work closely with farmers and suppliers. We strengthen the whole value chain to ensure inclusive agribusiness and ensure that base of the pyramid, those poor people that are in communities that are far richer are also part of this development and can also contribute to their economic empowerment. And also ensure a national ownership of continuity and inclusive agribusiness practices. So these are what the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs will be doing. Thank you very much. Amazing, Sharif. In closing, tell me quickly in a few minutes or a few seconds about the closing ceremony. Yes, so the closeout event basically is to officially hand over our process and our facilitation role to the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs. Okay. To be sure that the stakeholders that we have worked with over the years are aware that in the absence of the two-skill program and then their staff, there is a national body that they can walk up to in terms of capacity building and technical backstopping as far as the two-scale model in agribusiness inclusion is concerned. Where is it happening? It is happening at the Airport View Hotel at the event center. Okay. Is there a time? Are we invited? You are definitely invited. Yes. All right, all right. Jalil, thank you so much. Thank and as well, Sharif, thank you for joining us via Zoom on this very important conversation. You're watching the AM show. Please stay.
Thank you for staying with us all through the show. This is the AM show, and I'm excited about this one because my father was a teacher, though retired. It's quite exciting when you have conversation with teachers, and even more importantly, to know that they're dedicating time to want to recognize the hard work of teachers. And so this morning, we're going to be talking about the Ghana Teacher Prize or the Ghana Teachers Awards. And joining me in studio this morning is Grace Achimota. She is as well Ghana Teacher Prize National Coordinator. And also Dennis Osei-Wusu, Head Public Affairs National Teaching Council. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you.
My father's a teacher, so I love teachers. How I didn't turn out to become a teacher, I don't know. But thank you for all the work you're doing as teachers in this country.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the Best Teacher Awards. Who wants to go? Dennis or?
All right. Okay. So Best Teacher Awards has been in the systems. I think we are in our 30th year.
Wow.
Since its inception. That was in 1995. And it came as a result of when teachers were moving out of the country as a result of low remuneration and other incentives. So they felt the best moment was to leave the country and go seek greener pastures somewhere. And then I think predominantly they were moving to Nigeria, our people. So they used to call that exodus of teachers.
Yeah.
I think that was the name given to the whole process. So the government of the day thought it wise that then why don't we institutionalize an incentive package for our teachers? At least it will help them stay in the job in the country as well. So, and I'm telling you for a fact that that has been, is the first in the world, the first in Africa, yes, to give award to our teachers. Of course, we had day to celebrate our teachers,
yes,
but there were no award attached to it. So it was Ghana that introduced the award scheme. And it's been there since. And it has run down to this year, where now we even have the whole global award scheme. And then we have that of African award scheme.
Oh, there's the African award scheme as well.
So the name Best Teacher changed in 2018.
Okay.
Yes, and because Global now has seen the need to award teachers, they introduced Global Teacher Prize.
Okay.
And so for us to be able to compete globally, we need to change our criteria and everything so that we can mimic exactly what they are doing. Oh. Hence the name Ghana Teacher Prize.
Good. There was going to be my next question that I see Ghana Teacher Prize here. Is it very different? So it's not very different from
No, it's the same scheme.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. But the Grace, just a rebranding. Yeah. Since the time you started awarding teachers and all of that, personally, how would you say that has contributed to their morale?
Oh, with this, we are seeing improvement in their teaching. That's when you approach some of the award winners. It means they are doing a whole lot of things. In fact, they are using their position as best teachers to solicit for funds to support their teaching in the classroom.
Okay.
And I think it is in the right direction.
Now let's get into the awards. I'm certain a teacher is watching and I say, oh, I didn't know this. How can I be part of it? Let's talk about the selection criteria. This year, is the selection criteria the same over the years, or every year you tweak it a little bit?
We look at what is trending, and then we also adjust our selection criteria to meet the demands of the teachers. So we look out for the teachers' achievements in the classroom and beyond. And then also we look out for teachers who employ innovative practices in teaching, using innovative practices that can be replicated in other classrooms. Aside that, too, we look out for the teachers, their contribution to the community beyond the classroom. Outside the classroom, what do they do? What are they also bringing to the teaching profession? What are they doing to promote the teaching profession? We look out for their personality traits, their character, morals, and then other stuff. So we have a whole lot of things that we look out for. And so based on this, we set out, and then teachers are...
I want to be a fly on the wall when you're doing the criteria, because imagine teachers having to scrutinize their colleague teachers. That would be very, very tough. But then tell me about the eligibility of it. Is it open for all teachers? Is it open for private? Yes, is there a certain level to pre-tertiary, or what level are you eligible to be part?
Okay, it's open to all. Okay, we have different categories. Okay. But then the teaching category, which is the main one we are looking at, is open to all pre-tertiary teachers. but at least you should have been in the system for 5 years.
Why 5? Why not 2, 3, 10?
At least we need to see the impact you have actually generated on the people and then in the community as well. So it's not just like competing. We need to have some number of years being in the system so that we can have, we may feel your impact in the classroom and then in the community and beyond.
Okay.
And it is not just that, you need to also be a teacher in good standing.
What does that mean?
Yes, teaching is a profession.
Okay.
And we have how one can be identified as a professional. First, you need to be licensed. And so when you're licensed, automatically you're in good standing. So when you're able to renew your license and everything, you're a teacher in good standing.
Which one of the licenses are you talking about?
Ghana teacher license.
Okay.
Yes, we have.
The licensure exams.
Yes.
That you take
Not necessarily the licensure exams.
Okay.
You know, we have pre-service and in-service teachers. So when we introduce the licensure process, those who are already in the system will automatically given the license, the professionals in the system.
Okay.
But so it took effect from those who are now joining the profession. So not all of them went through the Ghana Teacher License examination. But as it stands, whoever becomes a professional must go through that because that system is halted now.
Yeah. Okay, at least something to show that you're indeed a professional teacher and all of that. What about the nomination?
Nominations can be done by the school you represent. You can do self-nomination. Your church can nominate you, the PTA, all students. Yes. So if, like you said, your mom is a teacher, your mom or your dad,
yes.
One of your colleagues, and I'm sure he taught you.
Unfortunately, he's retired.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my dad is retired.
So somebody can nominate your father for the influence he had on that student. And so it's open to all. And then this came as a result of when we used to do our own selection. We got to know that human face factor was a big deal. So people were complaining, okay, so we don't qualify. Now, if you believe that you are a teacher in good standing and you have a lot to show, apply. These are our criteria. Follow and apply. As simple as that.
Okay.
So you can do that yourself if you think you deserve the award.
The PTA, yourself, the school that you're teaching in, your friends?
Even your church, the traditional leaders, if they see the impact, they can apply on your behalf.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the criteria, is it very clear? When a person just reads about it, they can see that they are qualified. It's not ambiguous, so that by the time they are trying to nominate themselves, at some point, then they are stuck. Is it very clear?
It's very, very clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, a teacher can just go look at it and then says, oh, this one day I don't qualify. And so you know, we make the attempt to.
Okay. Yeah. Does the teacher union play a role in this, all of this?
Yeah, they do.
The unions, they do play a role. What kind of role do they play in this?
They support us in terms of, let's say, cash. Yes, in the organization of the organization of the awards. Yes, they have been taking care of the level awards. Best primary school teacher, best junior high school teacher, best SHS teachers. We have the teacher unions coming in to support that.
So this year, have you opened?
And then apart from them helping financially, they also help groom some of their teachers to be able to compete.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have training programs for them. Because we are not only looking at just getting a best teacher for Ghana, but we are looking at getting a best teacher who can compete globally as well.
That's a very good one.
So that is why you need to have some special training and get the concept right so that you can also go out there.
Okay.
And so that is what they also do to help the system.
Let's talk about the event organization. So far you have your nominees already?
Yes.
And when you have nominated, is there voting? Is it that there's a board that looks at whoever emerges a particular category's winner? How do you select the winners?
So after selecting, they apply. And so we screen their stories and then we select the number that we want from the various categories.
Okay.
Then after the selection, there will be a second selection. So the script will be given to another set of judges to look at it. Then after that, this time we are looking at top 30. So we have picked them from the various categories. So this 30 will also go for an interview to show evidence of whatever they have said that has brought them to that level. Okay. So you said you were a teacher doing this and that. We want you to prove to the judges that this is what you are doing. So they come for an interview to show evidence. So we accumulate their scores and then we use that to get the best for the various categories.
Oh, right.
Aside that, when we are able to get the top 10, we are able to get, the most outstanding, the first and then the second runner-up. So this group of teachers, we do follow up. We visit them on our way. They will not know that we are coming to observe. Yes, at times we even visit them.
Do it in their blind side. They don't even know that we are.
We go to church to see. You said you are the women's fellowship leader, and those are, so we do attend some of the churches. Yes, to verify.
Okay, then come to the classroom. The venue where they.
Okay, so the event is in two folds.
Okay.
We have the symposium and exhibition that has to do with the opening ceremony, and that will be on the 3rd and 4th of October. That is Friday and Saturday. And then the main event is on the 5th of October, which is on Sunday. So the first event will happen at Vota Serene Hotel in Ho. Yes, and then the main event, which is the Grand Deba, where we have the president in attendance, it will happen in UHAS, University of Health and Allied Sciences, City Hall Auditorium.
Okay.
So that's where we are going to have the whole event.
Okay. Maybe some hashtag and social media challenges that you've put out there for people to engage in. This week as well as Teachers Week,
Yes, it's
right?
Teachers Week. Okay. So we have declared the week for teachers, and we think that we should appreciate our teachers. So who is your teacher is one of the hashtags. And then my teacher, my future. And yes, my teacher, my future. And then what the most important thing is, now on our social media, people are posting their teachers, saying good things about them. At least if we had always said bad things about our teachers.
This week,
we know for sure we can't pay our teachers. That one I always say, teachers cannot be paid. I'm not saying in terms of government, because the things they do for us is priceless. We can't pay them for the sacrifices they are giving to us. So at least this is the day for us to say something good about teachers. We should forget about what has happened before. Today, and unfortunately, something came, and yesterday a teacher was in a bad news and it's taken over, and I'm like, this is Teachers Week. Why are we not marketing them on a positive note?
Okay. If we go there, I'm not sure we'll finish, but congratulations on this and this year as well. I wish you all the best in this event organizing, and at least may the best win in each of the categories. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you so much, Dennis. You're watching the AM show now. A $165 million. That's what the state spent on a 15-kilometer suburb railway meant to connect Kujokrum, Sekendi, and Takrady. And yet today, it lies abandoned. Stations once buzzing with passengers and goods are now rusted and silent. The gleaming gate and metal seats have lost their shine, overtaken by weeds and cobwebs. There's more in the following feature.
These are the trains brought by President Mahama. They've been here for the past 5 months. They haven't moved. Fully air-conditioned trains.
Ghana's dream of a working railway has remained stuck on the tracks. Even the much celebrated launch of the Tema Mpakadan service was derailed literally when a brand new diesel multiple unit crashed into a truck which had been parked right on the tracks. Accra to Nsawam line not operational. Accra to Tema line in urgent need of modernization. Takrady to Takwa service suspended after derailment. Many others are still under construction. The managing director of the Ghana Railway Company, Dr. Michael Ejay Anyete, admits the company is far from where it should be.
As I speak with you, Honorable, I know you may have heard for some time now, exactly 6 months, am I right? The railway worker has not received salary. And Honorable Minister, I am not going to blame this government. What we are seeing now is a cumulative effect. When I say cumulative effect, I know we will all understand. It didn't start from this government. But the good news is that there is hope.
But why has Ghana's railway story been on pause for so long? To find out, let's rewind.
Nananum, the reconstruction of this line, which forms an integral part of the Western Railway line, is therefore a signal of the beginning of a new era in rail transportation in Ghana.
In 2016, the government invested $165 million into a 15-kilometer suburban railway linking Kojokrom to Sekondi and Takoradi. It was supposed to be the first step in a grand plan to extend the line through Takwa and Manso all the way to the Takoradi port.
I work at a port. I live in Kojokrom. So the benefit that I'll have is very, very serious because I'll park my car over here and take this train to port and come back safely. It will make me to keep my petrol and some little money that I can have. I know Jamama is doing best for the Western region.
But after all the fanfare, the railway service has not taken off.
There are several things that went wrong in our country after we got independence. But one of the worst was the way we allowed our railway infrastructure to deteriorate. Other people have got first-class railway systems in the world. Ghana, we are going to have a first-class railway system.
The service began in 2017, but it was irregular and unreliable. By March 2020, trains were suspended. 7 months later, the trains resumed briefly. By 2024, the line was shut down again. Today, the Kojokrom station tells a different story. A student of UMAT, Michael Amponsa Safo, walks on the railway line almost every day.
My school is just along the rail, so I usually take this path here. And I've been schooling here for the past 2 years. These trains, they used to be stored at a warehouse very close to my school, my campus. And then at the beginning of this year, somewhere December, November, they brought the trains here. When it first came, I thought maybe they were doing renovations either at the place or there were faults with it. So they were bringing it here to fix it. This is a train station. I've been schooling for months and we have never seen any engineer coming to visit the train. We haven't seen anybody boarding it. We haven't seen anything being done about it. It's beginning to rust. When it first came, it looked very pristine. It was very, very nice.
Seeing the trains parked at the Kojokrom train station annoyed him so much that he posted his rant on X, hoping to get the attention of government.
It'd be bad. It'd be very, very bad. Oh, somebody should do something about this. You don't really have enough good roads in the country. This could be another source of transport. I want the government to step in and do something about it. That's why I made the video in the first place. It's not anything political or maybe related to which government is in power, which one is out of power. It's just me, a concerned citizen, voicing out my opinion.
But what we see is an empty platform. Cobwebs clinging to corners. Weeds growing on roof.
Well, I'm at the Kojokrom train station, and these trains, bought at a very huge cost to the taxpayer, now sit idle. Look at these trains. They look ready to move. But when you get very close, up close, you would see that rust is eating into the metal of the train. Each idle day turns these trains from assets to liabilities.
This is Ghana's new reality, a modern fleet wasting away. And Kojokrom is not the worst. Exposed beams, roof ripped open, weeds swallowing the tracks. Even the station clock is frozen in time.
I am very close to the Sekondi station, and I can tell you that currently the rail tracks are not for trains. Weeds have taken over. What was once a very strong symbol of pride has become a playground.
The public relations officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Sahadatou Al Hassan, said she would not dwell on why the train service has not been running.
Takoradi Kojokrom was already in operations until some 1 or 2 reasons the trains were packed. And so that issue has to do with GRC or GRDA issues. And so I think the least said about it. That is what I said. The least said about it is, I think, from me, particular, the better. The fueling itself, it's not an easy job. I don't want to be mentioning figures, but the truth of the matter is it involves a lot. As I said, its issue is something I cannot say much about. No matter how many times you bring it back, the least I will say is we are working on it. You will see Kojokrom run again when I cannot say, but we are doing our best.
On 17 September 2025, at a government accountability series, the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, answered questions about the railway service in Takoradi.
When would the Takoradi and other towns have their rail line revamped or operational? I stated clearly that we inherited a situation where all the contractors that were on site had all abandoned site because of unpaid interim certificates that were provided or made. We have gone into discussions with them, and as I reported that Amandi has resumed work. It's led with the other contractors. The issues are time deals with a lot of variations when it comes to contract. An Attorney General's office is assisting us to understand the contractual agreements and the arrangements that were made so that we can get the contractors to site and for them to do a completion of all the projects that they were handling.
Well, the minister's explanation did not include when the rail service will begin and what caused it to be suspended.
Just like the broken clock cannot tell the time, government officials also cannot say when services will begin. This is more than a delay, it's a costly cycle. Projects launched with fanfare only to be abandoned, leaving infrastructure to decay. Each passing year means higher bills, more repairs, more innovations, more millions lost. Meanwhile, residents in nearby communities who once believed trains would ease commuting remain hopeful, still waiting for a ride that never comes.
For car, traffic more than by 1 hour in Henry Town. But the train is in Chafuya, short distance, no traffic. Why am I your pa? Now you can't at times say Dr. Grace Mpobaha. Nchebi ayabo connection no onye railway minister no onye boom. Na nche training wa yedwuma because wa yedwuma de mfa so ba. Na at the same time Kojokrom fa yafu car kwatakrade no so. Yafu trainer yen ho tan.
Ma me kere ma fa car wo Kojokrom ekodu takrade around 20 minutes 10. But since the onye easy. About to take even by 30 minutes to Kwampo doko 45 in ebia ndu takrade. Because agent na traffic na ade ntomo ohaw ba se train ye dwuma nche obobo pa amemamu hune.
As the promise of a functioning railway system has not been realized yet, residents have no choice but to endure gridlock on the road. Over $165 million has already gone into this short line. Yet today, services are suspended. For many Ghanaians, the promise of modern rail lines remains a dream, one that's still stuck on the track. If past investments have failed, what does this mean for Ghana's future railway ambitions?
Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We're nearly wrapping up, but before I say bye-bye, and by the time you've seen this, you'll see me again, it will be Joy News Desk after this one in a show of coordination and readiness Techiman Holy Family Hospital, alongside with the Ghana Police, Fire and National Ambulance Services, staged a large-scale mass casualty drill on the Techiman-Kintampo Highway. The exercise, stimulating a catastrophic bus accident with over 40 victims, tested every link in the emergency response chain, from first responders to hospital care. While not real, the drill offered valuable lessons, highlighting teamwork and pinpointing areas, especially communications, for improvement. And Nas Sabit has more in this report. And enjoy, and I'll see you at 12. But do stay for Joy News Desk with Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson.
Sirens, for most of us, they are a fleeting sound of urgency that passes by. But what happens when the sirens don't stop? When they converge on a single tragic point and the lives of dozens hang in the balance? This is the scenario that the emergency services of Techiman are preparing for today. Not in the heat of a real disaster, but in the controlled emergency of a mass casualty incident simulation. A full-scale rehearsal for a day they hope will never come. Over 40 simulated casualties, a head-on collision between a bus and a pickup vehicle on the Techiman-Kintampo Highway, a race against the infamous golden hour. This is the story of how a community builds a shield of readiness, one practiced response at a time. The simulated emergency begins. The first link in the chain of survival is the Ghana Police Service. They are the first eyes on the scene. Their critical tasks: secure the area, assess the scale, and activate the response network. Their initial call is not for more police, but for specialists. The first call, the Ghana National Fire Service. Their mission is rescue. This team of fire officers arrived on time after receiving a distress call from the police. Their mission is simple: rescue the casualties as fast as they can. DO2 Jato S. Caesar is the incident commander.
We go to the scene and realize there was a head-on collision, and then about 42 people were involved in the accident. The bus carrying the people from Tamale, there were about 30 people, and the pickup was also carrying about 12 personnel.
With rescue underway, the second critical phase begins: triage. In a true mass casualty event, there are never enough resources for everyone at once. Triage is the system that ensures the most critical receive care first.
Upon seeing this and then doing our assessment, our money was detailed correct. So per hour they say the vehicles were stabilized, and then victim per hour categorization who were in critical situation were evacuated first. Those that were in urgent were also, evacuated. Then those that we suspect sustained minor injuries were separated.
And with this already underway, the experts from the National Ambulance Service also arrived with another key mission: get the survivors to the nearest hospital as early as possible.
When we came, we covered a place and made that place as a treatment area. In the incident, we had 30 casualties. Seriously injured ones were 4, and then we tagged them as red. And then we also had 10 of them tagged as yellow, and they also had some injuries like chest trauma, head injuries, and others. And we've been able to transport all of them to Holy Family Hospital for further management.
This color coding creates an instant visual map of the disaster for all responders. It is a brutal but necessary prioritization, a process that can mean the difference between life and death.
When we get to the scene, we first flag our casualties, to know which ones are critically injured, and then we treat those ones first and transport them first. Then the minor ones will follow.
The wave then hits the hospital. This is the ultimate test of the emergency plan. The simulation now pressures the system's capacity, communication, and composure. Despite the overwhelming numbers, a strict protocol is followed. The triage tasks are rechecked. Patients are streamed to the appropriate care areas. The goal is to avoid the emergency department becoming a bottleneck. Dr. Tobias Nina is an emergency medical doctor here at the Achimota Holy Family Hospital.
The rules may be good enough, but sometimes friction is not good, so we have a lot of accidents that do happen too. And the first point, of course, is our emergency. And so we thought that this was an exercise that was well in place, in fact, long overdue, and we are planning to make it a bit more frequent so that in the long run, things turn out good for everybody because, you can be a passenger, let me put it that way. So once we are sure that if you are a casualty and you are brought here, you'll be taken care of, you should also equip people to take care of you well when you are at the other side, yes.
With the last patient stabilized, the most critical part of the exercise begins, the honest debrief. Here, success is measured not by perfection, but by the lessons learned. Abna Boatin is an emergency nurse specialist with the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital and acted as an external supervisor for the exercise.
I must say this exercise is a very important exercise to carry out. Why? Because you never know when mass outage can happen. It can be in a form of any disaster or whatsoever. Therefore, health personnel and other personnel need to prepare themselves very well so that they can take care of casualties if it happens. So I must say this is a good exercise. We need to do it more often and we need to take it more serious and to other levels.
She, however, admonished for an effective means of communication for medical care, particularly during accidents, to help get emergency teams on the scene on time to save lives.
EMTs and the health workers should have a very stable network or a formal means of communication. That information can reach everybody as early as possible, because their delaying can increase our mortality and even morbidity. They're expected to get there on time. They're expected to act swiftly. So there should be a formal system or a network that is very reliable that will take care of those things.
Another key point of observation, according to Abena Boatma, has to do with the proper means of communication to the patient relatives to help ensure they are calm during such unexpected situations.
So going forward, I think our communication, there should be somebody solely in charge of patients and relatives, somebody in charge of relatives reassuring them, giving them updates to help them calm down and to give us a sound mind to take care of our casualties.
For medical personnel at post, including Daniel Kunedu Anani, who is in charge of the emergency department, his concern has to do with the reaction of the public during rescue missions. He admonished the public to handle victims with care to help minimize complications and, in the worst case scenario, death.
Yes, we know we all have that sympathy to rescue, but then we will prefer if some of them can be left for the professionals. We should let the system work. Handling victims is very important in RTA instances. So all that we just have to advise the general public is how they handle the victims. Sometimes how to even mobilize the person's C-spine before the person gets to the hospital can either save the person's life or even kill the person. So majority of the people that come to the hospital and then they pass on is mostly because of how they were handled.
But the skills honed, the lessons learned, and the partnerships forged here on this highway have strengthened the invisible shield that protects us all. This is the true value of being prepared. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.